councils, and we've been asked to come back before the city council, even after doing affidavits and everything else, to let you know that we did apply. And we have not still heard really anything or received anything. And so we want you, please, reconsider and that we would be able to receive some funds to be able to better serve the community that we serve at large.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Audrey Young Muhammad.
Yes, I'm Audrey Young Muhammad, 2nd Ward. One of the things I would like to address definitely is our community safety. I know at one time, prior to 2017, that the city council had a committee that was a safety committee, and they went out and they did visits, and they had a meeting once a month, included the state police, city police, county sheriff department, included various leaders from the community. A couple of them in particular that I attended was over at Christ the King Church under Father Schmitter, where we talked about different things that was going on in the community that was posing safety issues. One of the issues at that particular time was we're getting the state police to know better the residents in the city, because it made definitely bridged a gap between the city, the citizens of the city of Flint, and the state police, instead of them just coming in when they saw that was a problem. So sometimes you might see someone out having a mental health challenge, but if you know that person, you know, oh, they're not acting like they've had their medicines today. Let me take him home or her home, so that way she can get the proper help and assistance that they need. So those were some of the things that was talked about in that particular safety meeting. Different ways of bridging the community and law enforcement together, but I don't see any of those things happening, and as a result, we see what we see happening in our community on a daily basis. Crime is still up. You know, we had some different programs that was coming in that was helping to assist in the communities, like lookouts, like, you know, your neighborhood engagement communities. But a lot of those things are not encouraged, and they were highly encouraged in those meetings. Those meetings was taken out into the community. Those things need to happen again, like drastically. We see it happening every day. There's problems. There's something going on. There's some incidents that happen I have not ever seen reported in the news. There was a murder around the corner from me. Was not in the news, was not anywhere at all. And I looked and wanted to see, because the neighborhood I live in, we don't have problems like that. Somebody had to call me and say, did you know somebody got killed around the corner? Like, when? Where? Didn't you see the lights? No, I was in my house. I didn't see nothing. I didn't expect to hear that. And that wasn't even a month ago that happened. As a matter of fact, it was on April the 18th, the exact date. It was April the 18th. But these are the kind of things that we need to start addressing in our community. It's hot. It's going to get hot. Weather going to get worse. So if we don't hurry up and take care of these problems, guess what? We're going to pot this year. I hope y'all take that all into consideration.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The buzzer haven't gone off, so I still have 4 seconds.
So you are not allowed to stand there silently.
So I'm allowed to pause for a second.
Thank you, Madam
Thank you.
Clerk.
Now you have a great day.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next public speaker.
The next speaker is Doug Matthews.
Hello, everyone. My name is Doug Matthews. I'm a veteran and a good government advocate from the 7th Ward. In the classic Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life, Bedford Falls is a good, honest town, until greed and corruption turned it into Pottersville, a place of chaos and darkness. Sadly, Flint is at that same crossroads today. Leading the march towards Potterville is Mr. Potter, the villain, with his lieutenants, Snakebite, Big Sleazy, and AC Dumbass, followed by...
Excuse me, pause the time.
What?
Pause the time. So, Mr. Matthews, you have to watch your language. This is not your first council meeting, so please refrain from using vulgar language.
Which words were you objecting to specifically?
I believe you said Mr. Dumas's name incorrectly. Please continue.
Snakebite is so notorious, a racist demagogue, that she needs no introduction. Big Sleazy, Flint's most foul-mouthed resident, has built a reputation on financial fraud and food stamp chicanery.
Point of order.
Please pause this time.
You know, I'd fall over dead if
Yep.
I was ever
Please
allowed to finish
Point of
my
order.
comments.
Please pause your time. What is your point of order?
Big Sleazy. Let's not use that. I'm calling you to order, Mr.
So you have the chair's permission to continue. That is acceptable. Go ahead, please.
Now she claims to be the future of the Third Ward. Then there's AC Blank, Mr. Integrity, who stood before the Ethics Board and lied, claiming he heard me shout a vile racial slur, a lie so outrageous it would be comedy if it weren't so dangerous. But the real Mr. Potter and Flint is Dennis Pfeiffer. And just like Potter, Pfeiffer sneers at accountability and dreams of tearing down order. He literally promised a bonfire right here in the chambers when he spoke last. A fiery purge of rules, a Caesar of control through
Madam Chair,
chaos.
point of order.
Yes, excuse me, would the resident from Burton in the black shirt please stop yelling out during meeting? Thank you. Go ahead.
That's not leadership, that's tyranny. It doesn't stop with them. Some on the council cheer for them, and some in this audience cheer for them, either out of fear or because they think they can ride the coattails. Others do nothing, say nothing, pretending silence is a shield. The Third Ward deserves better than chaos merchants. The citizens of Flint deserve leaders who stand for truth, not for lies. And you, council, must hear the thunder in the distance. Ein Sturm kommt, Hitler told the German people. A storm is coming. If Flint chooses Potterville, it will be because good people stayed silent, including good people on this council. You don't have to. You can organize a writing campaign for someone who believes in decency, honesty, and accountability. You can reject the fraud, the lies, and the bully who dreams of bonfires. But only if you act. Because a few brave voices can still save this town if they have the courage to speak up.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Sandra Jobin.
Good evening, guys. Thank you so much. But I just wanted to tell you that the tables are getting ready to turn, just in case you don't know that. And you might have a few more seats that might be empty, so you might want to get ready for some other council members to vote for, because it looks like somebody's going to be in trouble. So in case you didn't know my name, it is Sandy Jobin. And since we want to do politically correct all the time, until you guys get up here and you'd allow anything else to happen. Like, for instance, when they call you Red Rooster, I never mentioned it to you. I was never disrespectful in any way. But yet you want to turn around and do that to me. As far as an outsider, I'm not an outsider. Your guys' schools come to our schools. We go to your schools. This is Genesee County. This is not no outsider outside of Genesee County. And this is United States. So I'm not no outsider. This is just a total laughing joke of what you guys do and the waste of money. And by the way, wasting money, what's happening to the third ward? Where is that going to be a back pay, or is that going into another LLC or a nonprofit organization? Or what exactly does what happens with the money for the extra city council that's not being used? Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Beverly Biggs Levy.
Hi, my name is Beverly Biggs Levy. I just want y'all to listen to something that came to me.
Yeah, Mrs. Biggs Levy, this is Robert at the St. Andrews Episcopal Church poll site. There's been a few voters showing up just recently, and Liddell Lewis and LaShawn Johnson are both here meeting the voters. And I went up and introduced your campaign to the voters, and Liddell Lewis and LaShawn Johnson are bringing up a bunch of negative stuff about you attacking the council members, and they're using that on the voters to try to persuade them not to vote for your campaign. I just want to let you know, if you want to send somebody else over here to this polling site to combat the arguments of LaShawn Johnson and Liddell Lewis teaming up here.
You got the president of the council up at St. Andrews talking negative about me. You got LaShawn Johnson talking negative about me. Is this the kind of corruption y'all go for? It needs to be addressed. And it's not the first time that Liddell have done this. And it won't be the last. This corruption of her, the way she's talking about me, if she clean up that second ward, the way she videoing about me, she'll be a bad sister. Clean up your own front door and your back. Y'all got to get this together. I'm not here for no corruption. I'm not here to bash nobody. But it's time out, Liddell. It's time out. And you think it's funny, it's not. It is not. We got to do better. Ain't that what your words say? If you know better, you do better. Duh. Do better. Have a good day.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
That was the last speaker.
Oh, that was the final speaker. Seeing as how that was the final speaker, it is now time for council response. Council members may respond to all public speakers only after all public speakers have spoken, and individual council members' response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward, you have the floor.
Thank you. I do want to say Flint has some very good people, and those good people showed up and voted and cast their vote for who they wanted to see represent them. And things are going to change. Things will change. You'll be able to have people who have been waiting on funds to be funded. The 2 missions that are in the 4th Ward, the 2nd Ward, St. Mark, and Pastor Timothy has been asking. Our hands have been tied. We didn't have 5 votes. It's not that your project isn't worthy. We didn't have 5 votes. We didn't. And so Judy's over here against your project, just so you know, as I'm sitting here. She's making, we didn't have 5 votes. And so yeah, you did. And so the people spoke. It was the will of the 3rd Ward. We have to honor that. So congratulations, Beverly Biggs Levy. And congratulations, A.C. Dumas. And to the people of the 3rd Ward who picked your own person. You went and cast your ballot either at the polls or you cast your absentee ballot. And that is a part of what democracy is. If people don't like it, you should have got out and helped the other candidate. But this is democracy, period. Plain and simple. And things are going to change. Not till August, I'm quite sure. And they will. And so what we have to understand, if people say, oh, I'm religious, you know, God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't. I know that we have got 5 votes that we can start feeding this community. We will in August. And that's what I'm looking forward to. 5 votes who will do the will of the people with the monies that we have set aside to take care of the people.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during public speaking? Councilwoman in the 5th Ward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to thank all of the speakers. Thank you for first being here, coming out to attend the council meetings, and thank you for being engaged in the process. And Ms. Beverly Biggs, I just want to say one thing to you, and I'm just going to leave it there. No weapons formed against you shall prosper. Believe that, okay? Let them talk. Let them do whatever they need to do. Because guess what? She didn't win. She didn't win. So, sometimes you got to stomp the devil out. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Anybody else during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Yes, in regards to the ombudsman, we have nothing to do with that. We have no control over appointing the ombudsman. That's totally on the Ethics and Accountability Board. Per the charter, they're the ones responsible for choosing that person. I wish we could help, but it's out of our control. And also, in regards to all of this allegation that I have spoken to you many times. You know where I'm coming from. And I have voted for every food access except for one. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward, you have the floor.
All right, thank you so much. So definitely want to clear up some things that was said here. Pastor Hicks, I know that your outreach is in the 6th Ward. Not once have the 6th Ward representative brought anything before this body. So what we will do tonight, we'll put a motion on the floor so we can get that money moving tonight, because I don't want to hear excuses. This is the first time. Now she's saying that I'm lying. Not once have this.
Please pause the time. Please pause the time. What is your point of order?
My point is, she's speaking to my motives, and Emily Dorr, that was in her office. So the councilwoman in the 2nd Ward is lying.
So I don't know that she's speaking to your motives or lying. What she pointed out was that it never came before us. So please continue with your time.
Thank you. So because we've never seen that, but I've spoke with you as well, and I know what you're trying to do. I'm 100% for it. So tonight, we'll put that motion on the floor so we can get that money moving to do what you need for it to do. Time out for the excuses. We were waiting for your council person, didn't happen, so we'll move. In terms of the council person being at the poll speaking negatively, we have a 3rd Ward candidate that stood proudly at that lectern and said, I said what I said and I don't take it back. So if you're proudly talking about our deceased council members, if you're talking about, you know what, I'll let them hear it again.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th. You clowns. That's what you are. You clowns. Why you didn't get that girl the money? Because that's the type of person you is. You need to take that rabbit money hat off the top of your head, put something in your forehead, bring them bangs down, because you got the biggest forehead there ever was. Judy Priestley, everybody's tired of seeing your titties hanging to the floor. I have you something, and I have the receipt to go buy something. If it ain't big enough, you can go to a little more than a handful of them, they will open the doors and fit you for what you need. You guys are a joke. That Quincy, I did call your job today, and
So no lie detector here. We have someone running for this seat who's vile and use those words. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Councilman in the Ninth Ward, you do have time. All right, seeing as how he has declined his time, I think I will go ahead and take mine. I think one of the things that was said tonight has kind of been echoed throughout the community. Mr. Matthews, we do hear you loud and clear. We hear the others, members of the community. However, I do want us to be very clear. Like you said, in the democratic process, there are other options. And so all we can do is see if people exercise other options, and if they don't, then the Third Ward picks their representative, and that's where we are with this. I also wanted to point out, I think there was a resident here from Burton who often interrupts our meetings. All I ask is that she would be respectful of our meetings, because I don't hear about her at Burton meetings causing problems. I don't hear about her at county meetings causing problems. I don't hear about her at any other meetings in Genesee County causing problems. We are not a prop for you. We are not a show for you. We are not a reason for you to get your name and face out there. There's one thing if you come to our meetings and you have dialogue that's respectful and you say things that are factual, but you do not. You come with an outsider perspective, simply jumping on a bandwagon, and that is the reality. I also want to correct something Ms. Muhammad said. I believe she said I was glaring at her. No, Ms. Muhammad, you were talking about something that I feel is very important. Therefore, I was looking at you and engaging with you, giving you the time and attention and respect that a comment that is actually about city business deserves. You talked about the fact that we needed to be paying more attention to public safety initiatives and the fact that it's getting hot outside. I wholeheartedly agree. We need to protect and preserve as many lives as we can this summer, and whatever way we have to do that, we should all work together to do that. Miss Mary, did they take care of your concern yet? All right, I will get right on that tomorrow, because they said it's in there for you. And they were supposed to, I think it's got to have somebody special to do what needs to be done, but I will follow back up with that. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are now moving on to the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the Second Ward.
Thank you. So I would like to put a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda, but before we do that, is it possible to go ahead and put a motion on the floor so we can get the Christian Faith Love Center resolution going?
So I think we can, hold on one sec. I just want to be sure, because a motion is always in order. So if you give me 1 second.
Excuse me.
Woman in the Second Ward, it is my understanding that you can put the motion on the floor, but you also have to specify that it is going to be reduced to writing at a later time, but you can put the motion on the floor for the support for Christian Love Faith Center.
Okay, so thank you. So, Madam Chair, I would like to put a motion on the floor to give Christian Love Faith Center $25,000 for their food initiative, and we will produce the resolution at a later date.
All right, thank you. Is there support for the motion? It's been supported by the councilwoman in the Fourth Ward. This is, I guess I have to do discussion.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Point of order.
I'm trying to figure something out. Give me 1 second.
This question is to you, Chair.
Madam Attorney, give me 1 second. I got you. 1 second.
gonna do it, I think the rules say you gotta have a resolution.
I am,
Yeah, the new rules, I think, say you gotta have a resolution. Because we couldn't do it before.
I just want to be clear that we can, because the motion is always in order, and it was supported, and she said that it was going to be, it was going to be reduced to writing at a later time, that we are good to move forward with discussion on this.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like the floor in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the Fifth Ward.
I'm sorry, I will not be voting on this tonight. We need a resolution. I will not vote on anything that I do not have a resolution for in front of me. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like the floor in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the Sixth Ward.
So I want to be perfectly clear, because this is the first time we've been allowed to do this. Before it's been said you can't do it. So through you to our city attorney, do we need and I haven't had I have my rules out, but I know prior we could not do this without a resolution. And maybe I need to go through, because we couldn't even put anything on the agendas. So through you, Madam Chair, to the city clerk. City clerk, are we allowed to put anything on the agendas?
Per the council rules, any council member can add an item to a committee agenda, and only the president or the chairperson can add anything to the regular council or meetings.
So that is why I haven't, thank you, put one on, because the president acting president didn't want it on. Now, if they've been talking to her, it's disappointing because they could have did it, the mayor could have sent it up. They haven't did it, but I guess this is a show me time, I guess, but I'm getting ready to show you you're not telling the truth. So, Madam Chair, Madam Clerk, also in addition, are we required to have a resolution, because we have been told the past since April 2024, 22nd, that you have to have a resolution.
So anything of this nature is to be reduced to writing by resolution or ordinance. So, yes, a motion can be made, but as was stated, it can be brought later. But yeah, for something of this nature, the rules state that you have to have a resolution or an ordinance.
Okay, thank you. And Madam Chair, through you to Councilwoman Priestley, how much do we have in food access? Okay, she don't know. She hunched her shoulders. So why, and she hunched them again. So why are we doing this if we don't have money? I mean, this is the part.
Request for information.
Please pause the time. What is your request?
So just through you to the speaker, she asked, why are we doing this? We're doing it because they put in for the funds. They've been requesting it. This is your award, so we want to make sure that we make it.
Improper.
That's why we're doing it.
That's
Thank you.
improper. So I'm asking.
Please continue, Ms. Burns.
I'm asking Judy, who was the finance chair, because things should be done in decent and in order, and as you as the acting president should know that. So again, Ms. Priestley, do you know how much is in food access?
Ms. Burns, I developed that spreadsheet as an aid
So
for
let me
us.
pause both of
Okay.
y'all.
Okay,
Allow me to properly introduce myself. I'm the chair.
thank you. Through you, sorry, so sorry.
'Kay.
So sorry. I will apologize. Through you, Ms. Chair, to Ms. Burns, I have stopped updating that
But the time
spreadsheet.
should be going.
I have stopped updating those spreadsheets, and I'm now no longer following the expenditures.
Okay, thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, is anyone in administration can tell us how much is in food access? Because they asked for 75. Why are we just giving them 25? So, is it anyone in this administration that knows? Okay, well, it looks like it's, yeah, I mean, and why, that is definitely, so is there anyone? So through you, Madam Chair, Mr. Taylor just walked in. Maybe he knows. Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Taylor, the Deputy Chief of Staff.
I don't think, like you said, he just walked in, so I'm sure he doesn't know what's going on.
Okay, can you call him to the podium, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Taylor, would you please join us at the lectern? Mr. Taylor?
So, I mean, we should be able to find out, or who does know? And that would be my question. Who does know? Mr. Taylor, I know as you're coming, the clock is running down. I hope you've had it's a beautiful day out here, but if you can tell me, who would know how much money we have in food access? They asked for 75. There's been a motion on the floor for 25. It didn't come from the administration. Normally, it would come from the administration. Can you help me out here?
I can't.
You can't. So you don't know who knows. How do we find out what's in food access?
Maybe, Seamus is trying to look it up. Like I said, I come in the middle of it. I don't even really know what you're talking about.
Okay, how much is in ARPA fund for food access?
Yeah.
Normally, what's the process? Normally, this type of resolution would come from the administration. They stated that they had been dealing with the administration.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'll wait. Seamus is back there. So Seamus, if you get it, he's got his babies. My time is gonna run down, so I'll have to wait Seamus
So,
the second round. Hold, I'll have to wait till the second
All
round.
right, is there anyone else who wishes to speak during the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilman in the 9th Ward, you have the floor.
thank you. First, Madam Chair, can I have you to help me to understand with this particular resolution how it's going to work? So it was brought to the floor, a written resolution to follow. Does that follow after we vote to approve the funds, or is this approval to go to committee? How is this actually working?
Absolutely, let me help you out, because I also see where you're going next, so I'm gonna go there before you. At any point in time, if y'all really wanted to know what food access meant to them, what they were gonna spend the money on, and who they serve, y'all all have 5 minutes to call them up there. So that's point one of quit playing. Number two, her resolution was very clear. The resolution that's been put on the floor here in Special Affairs Committee, because we're in a committee, this is a committee, the resolution that was put on the floor was to give them $25,000 for food access, which means if we vote this through the committee tonight, it goes on the council agenda tonight. She also said with the resolution to follow. If you're wondering what's going to be in the resolution, again, you have 5 minutes where you could have been asking them. After it leaves out of here, it will go straight to council, and if we vote it through council, then bam, the $25,000 that they've been trying to get from Ms. Burns for I don't know how long, they will be set tonight.
Thank you.
You're
Madam
more than
Chair.
welcome.
Through you to the pastor, if I can have.
Request for information. Request.
I'm sorry, go ahead, what's your request?
My request is, do you know that was from the mayor? They've been dealing with them, and I guess they told me they couldn't get it. Emily Dorr told me the mayor was not giving that money, period. Yes, she did, sure did, and it's in my emails.
All right, so if you would like to share that email, that would be wonderful, so that we can all be on the same page with you.
She said it wouldn't be done.
No, and I'm not questioning whether or not it's real or not, but if you want to share that email so that we could all be on the same page and see that the mayor is the one who rejected this, we would love to see it. Okay, go ahead.
She's not making a point over here.
Good evening, sir. Can you tell me again, what's the name of the church?
Christian Love Faith Center.
Christian Love Faith Center.
Yeah.
And can you tell me, or share with me,
Excuse me, what'd you say?
what service do you all provide currently?
Right
as
now,
far as
we
food?
were doing specialized food service, because you have a lot of people in the city of Flint who have special needs because they have health issues and they can't eat everything that the food bank and the food different places that they have distributions can eat. So you have low sodiums, you have people with high blood pressure, you have all kind of health issues, cancer and everything else. And we do specialized food for particular families, and we service the families, and we do it through DHS, we do it through the Chamber of Commerce, we do it through Cedar Street, we do it through the Shelter of Flint, the YWCA, the women's shelter, and also we do an off-site feeding of the homeless up here on Fifth Avenue and MLK. We do that every so often throughout the year to feed those that are homeless and are less fortunate.
So I heard you earlier state that you had to cancel some events.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Is it that you had to cancel it specifically because these ARPA funds weren't received, or because you had run out of your other funds?
We ran out of everything.
Okay,
'Cause
so in what other ways are you funded?
Through my own pockets and through just donations of individuals that we request a helping hand from.
And how long have you all been running your program?
We've been doing this since 2006.
Since 2006. Okay. So is there a particular vendor that you have relationship with that you get these foods from?
Food Bank of Eastern Michigan, but we don't do it at the normal where they pay per pound. We do it because we buy the name brand, because a lot of stuff that you get from in the bulk, paying by weight, a lot of that, the average person can't eat it. You have to doctor it up a lot to make it feasible for some families, because we go and service families throughout the community, and we find canned goods and everything stacked up on their front porches because they say, we can't eat this.
So you all do somewhat of a more home delivery type?
Correct.
So
as well as them coming to the church.
How many households do you service?
We service, over 50 a month.
Okay.
And it all depends on the needs, because we not just with a certain list of individuals, but we do it as people have needs, as people fall upon hardships or just need a helping hand. Because everybody is not just down, but everybody has issues or circumstances that are beyond their control. And in the times in which we live in now is just beyond everybody's control as far as with the prices.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like the floor in the first round of discussion? Councilwoman in the fourth ward, you have the floor. I thought you leaned forward to your mic. No. Okay.
Madam Chair?
Oh, sorry, Councilwoman in the second ward.
Not a problem. So through you to Councilwoman Burns, could you please send that email to the body from Emily Dorr so we can see it?
Councilman Lewis, you know I don't deal with you because I don't even like you. I don't. So.
All right, so that has nothing to do with us moving the business of the city forward. Sorry, Pastor Hicks, that you're caught between foolishness as we're trying to move on your behalf. And so, again, she made the assertion that she had an email from Emily Dorr, and we're looking.
Point of
Please
order.
pause the time. What is your point of
She needs
order?
to quit speaking to my I'm going through my emails right now in between, but I also had a conversation with Emily, which she did state that it was above her pay grade, which I shared with you. And he was in contact with Nick or in that department.
What's your point of order?
So my point of order is she needs to quit speaking to my motives.
So I'm
okay?
gonna-
I'm looking for the email.
Thank you. I'm going to rule on that. She didn't speak to your motive. She repeated what you said. You said you had an email.
Yep, I'm looking
She's
for it.
asking for the email.
Yep, and I'm gonna work on it.
All right. Okay, continue.
All right, thank you. So as we wait for her to produce the email so we can all be on the same page, I would like, so I know our councilman in the ninth ward, he was asking about your project. And I remember you saying that it was about food distribution, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so who have you been working with in terms of making this come to fruition? Well, for one, let me ask you this. How were you paying for this food distribution in the first place? To my knowledge, didn't you say it was coming out of the church's coffers?
Yes, and as well as our own personal
Okay.
pocket. Yes.
Okay, so this is paid for, this is strictly a grassroots, no grants
No.
deal. You're just working on behalf of the community?
Correct. We never have received anything.
All right. And how many members of your congregation do you have?
Right now, we currently only have about 25.
20, okay, so 25 members plus you and your wife, you are feeding approximately 50 people per month, and you're helping them with their specific diet. Okay, let me also ask you this. So seeing that you have like a small body, does that leave room for any like close to $20,000 pastoral appreciation checks? So are you getting those kind of checks coming from your church?
Never have.
Okay, all right. So
Never
just
have. I've never even received a pastor's appreciation. Okay, not where they come and generate money. This has been a labor of love.
Okay.
I have been pastoring for 35 years and have never taken a salary.
Okay.
I've always, and I give the church more than I've ever been given.
Okay.
And so therefore, I've been doing this for 35 years, and I do it because the Lord has called me to do it, not because I want to do what others have done.
Okay.
And get big checks.
Okay. And so the people that you serve, because you are a City of Flint resident.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you all for still choosing to stay in Flint. And also your church, thank your church for being here in Flint as well, because you're such a blessing. And so you are dealing exclusively with City of Flint residents, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're passing a lot of the criteria that we're talking about. All right, so who have you been working with to make this happen?
We've been working with Liddell Lewis. We've been working with Candace Mushat. We've been working with Judy. And these are the ones that we've been working with, and then also Sister Burns. That's where we started off with. And so this where we are now is that we've still been trying to make something come to pass.
Okay, thank you for that. And a little bit about that the affidavit. So why did you have to do an affidavit?
They wanted to make sure that we had filled out the application and had submitted the application. So we had to submit a sworn affidavit stating that we had submitted the application and that it was done in a timely fashion and that we met the criteria of the time frame before, so that it would hopefully be approved.
Okay, thank you. So it looks like that you have met every single mark.
Yeah.
It looks like that, because you keep hearing that no vote, that no one had the votes, that we wouldn't vote for it. Again,
Yes.
the council in the 6th Ward never brought this to this body. And so we're here today, and we have enough people here to pass this so you can continue doing the good work, not out of your pocket, not out of your church meager funds. So we have some food money. They say you asked for 75,000. We put a motion for 25 on the floor because, because again, that's what we put on the floor.
Yes.
And you initially, when this came down in 2021, this is 2025. So that $75,000 that you asked for, it was supposed to start at 2021.
Yeah.
So the reason why I said 25,000 is because these monies must be spent by December 2026. And so that'll give you enough time to continue with your mission and give you enough money for, I guess, prorating it, to say the least. But yeah, so just to let you know, I'm in full agreement. There's no reason to say no, because you're doing a great work. So thank you and the First Lady, and thank you all for supporting the North Side.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion? Councilwoman Priestley, you're the only one who has time, no?
Okay, I'll take
Okay.
a couple minutes. So we are seeing the food for other deserving organizations being held hostage because St. Mark's was not given food. And that's exactly what it's being done. I'm not going to do this unless you do this. And that's how it's happening. Forget about the need of the other people in the community. And I just want to call the hypocrisy out of that fact. If people need food, they need food regardless of where it comes from. And there's no reason to not vote for an organization. Madam Chair,
Yes.
they're yelling out.
Audience, please refrain from yelling out. Continue.
Thank you. So there is no reason to provide funding to organizations. Matter of fact, the councilwoman in the 6th Ward brought St. Mark's, and then the following week, Bethel, or the same time, I voted for Bethel. But she forgets about that. She remembers, I didn't vote for St. Mark's, but I voted for Bethel. So, because the money is being held up for all deserving organizations because of one. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I guess I'm the only one left in the first round of discussion, so I will go ahead and take my time. I do appreciate you coming down here. I know that both you and First Lady attend these meetings often, that you're very involved in the community. I do want to clear something up, though. When they asked, who have you been working with, I do want to be clear that we were brought in on the latter end. I believe you were working with other council people before we were brought in, and they were not moving it forward. Who were you working with before you were working with us?
Before, we were working with Quincy Murphy and also Eric Mays, as well as Ms. Tanya.
Okay, and so I just want to be clear that you were working with Mr. Murphy, Mr. Mays, and Ms. Burns on this effort, and that you turned in your original application to one of the three of them.
Yes.
So the original application, nobody else in the council actually saw the original application. And so by the time you got to us and you told us that you put in an application, the reason you had to sign that affidavit was because nobody had even seen the original application.
Correct.
Now, my colleague says that Emily Dewar, who is no longer with the city, so we can't confirm nor deny because she's not here, we do not have access to her emails, said that there's an email from Ms. Dewar that stated that the mayor was not doing whatever. I'm not privy to that. This is the first time I've heard that. And so once my colleague sends us the email, we will all be on the same page with that. I do want to say, though, that I think you're being a bit modest here, because additionally to feeding people, you also clothe people. You have items for expectant mothers or mothers who are currently struggling. I know that you give out diapers, correct?
Correct.
I know that you give out infant clothes, correct?
Correct.
I know that you give out formula, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that you also allow your space to be used for community meetings as well, correct?
Correct.
And so when we talk about this $25,000 and we talk about food access, we have to be completely clear that you said around 50 a month, but there are so many other things and other people that you serve.
Right.
And so I want us to be clear that your church has their doors open 365 days a year to the entire community. I know you also do some work with seniors where out of your pocket you throw them dinners and you make sure that they have a place where they can come to kind of get a reprieve.
Correct.
And so you serve from the very newborn infants all the way to some of our most seasoned seniors.
Yes.
And I appreciate your modesty. You got to go for the gusto right now, because everybody needs to be clear that you are doing the work.
Yes.
That you are doing exactly what churches are supposed to do, that you are feeding the poor, right? That you're clothing them, right? That you're opening your doors, that you are literally embodying the work that Christ has called us to do in that Bible. So I just want us to be clear and not make it seem like, oh, it's just 25 people. You've got 25 people, but you're feeding twice that much a month, and that's on the low end of what you're feeding. And then additionally, like you said, you either depend on donations from somewhere else, or you and your first lady take that money directly out of your own pocket to ensure that the community continues to get help.
That is correct.
So when we talk about the work that you're doing and what this $25,000 will mean, $25,000 will mean that at least, because again, you're being modest, at least 50 families will be able to eat, that 50 children will have food secured, that 50 mothers, 50 fathers will have food secure so they can continue to go out and do the work that they need to do so that they can sustain their families one more day.
Correct.
So we got to be clear on the work that you're doing and what's on the line. Go ahead.
And in addition to that, because we feed over 200 individuals during Thanksgiving as well as for Christmas.
For sure.
Where we prepare the food. And then we work with MTA, where they provide transportation to seniors at their different high-rise facilities, and they pick them up, bring them to the church, we feed them free of charge, and then the MTA takes them back home.
Right.
And we do that twice a year.
And so I just want us to be clear that this is an environment that provides families with dignity at one of the toughest times in their lives. It is not easy for someone to say, I had a child and now I am struggling with getting my child the basic necessities. And so when you open that door and you take that shame that people feel, because it's no fault of their own, economic times are economic times.
Correct.
But the shame that you take off of them by having your doors open, it's important that we speak to that. It's important that we speak to the fact that people's stomachs are full. It's important that we speak to the fact that pantries will not go empty because of the work that you're doing. It's important that we not play around with the fact that she said the resolution will be written later, so we can go ahead and vote on this now. And if they want to know clearly what's in the resolution, we can just call you up here because we all have a second round. With that said, that's done for me for the first round. Next public speaker in the second round. Next council person in the second round of discussion.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. Through to Seamus, if he can head this way, if he can tell me how much is in that account. But while you're there, Pastor Hicks, so you've dealt with Councilman Mays.
Yes.
You've dealt with Quincy Murphy.
Quincy Murphy, yes.
Liddell Lewis, Judy Priestley, the mayor.
Yes,
And so you were dealing with everybody.
trying to.
Right. And so at no time, because they're really trying to say, like, I did not talk to you, did not forward your emails. When you first came over here, you sat on that side and said,
Yes.
I submitted mine, but, and you, there were others,
Yes,
and no one heard anything. So the fact that not just yours, but there were others, and feeding the community shouldn't have to be, I know you would want other parts, because we have the money. Do you, Mr. Seamus, how much do we have in that account?
Thank you.
So the last report was about 6 weeks ago, so I know it needs to be updated, but on that report, there's about 400,000 available in food access.
Okay, thank you, Seamus. So I would like to.
I didn't hear the number you said.
I would like to amend the motion, since we're going to feed the community, and being the pastor, we want to make sure everybody eats. So I would like to add St. Mark's to it. I would like to add East Side Commission, Compassionate to it, and Franklin Avenue, so that we're feeding all four. Let's feed the community. So, Madam Chair, put a motion to feed those four. And we have 400-something thousand in there.
There is a motion on the floor, an amended motion on the floor to add, we don't have a dollar amount for each.
Let's just start with giving them all 25,000.
And what were the,
East Side Compassionate Mission,
okay,
Franklin Avenue, St. Mark, and then also Timothy Hicks.
so there is an amended motion on the floor to give $25,000 to, that was 4 organizations, correct? To the 4 organizations mentioned by the councilwoman in the 6th Ward. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 9th Ward. Is there discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. So feeding the community, because we have the money, we now found out that there's enough money, so we're going to feed all of them. That is what I want to have done. So that will be a wonderful thing. So, no means would I stop and hold up anything, and that is not of my heart to do that. Feed everyone, because there's a food shortage. I was on the phone this morning about not having, living in the food desert. And so I know where you're at. So I don't want them to, this notion that Councilwoman Burns wasn't doing anything. I'm not the president of this council. I'm not the vice president. They have their committees that they chair. They could have and should have put it on if they were communicating with you. They should have, and they didn't. So what I will do is absolutely support this. Take care of our community. We now know we have enough money. Give everyone, share the wealth. Feed the city, the entire city. I'm done, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward?
Yes, thank you so much. I am definitely for feeding the entire community, especially when the community lives in the city of Flint. And so we have the St. Mark pastor on record stating that he's feeding individuals that's not living in the city of Flint, and that's what these ARPA dollars are for. And when you
I know what it is, but I don't think everyone understands. Can you tell us what is a full giveaway?
Well, our president, Deacon Carl Davis and Agnes Napier it's a lot of work behind the scenes. You see the food that's out there, but then there's a lot of administrative work that you have to do behind the scenes. And so we have to shop for meat, and then we have a truck that comes, and the truck is about $1,000 a piece. And a lot of times we get 2 trucks, because we know that it's going to be wrapped around the corner. We have had so many issues as it relates to the parking or the line, because at one time it was going all the way down to Leek Street or
Request for
Saginaw.
information.
Please pause the time. What's your request?
My request is to the council person in the second ward, have you received food from St. Mark yourself or friends?
All right.
Councilwoman in the second ward, continue.
Redirect them and put them on DuPont Street, and then so now we're on Iroquois Street, so we're wrapped around Rankin to Iroquois to McClellan Street, so King School is over there, and so we sometimes need more food. It's just a great need in our community. So we serve we don't ask people for their address most of the time, unless we're directed by the food by the Eastern Michigan Food Bank, because we try to follow the rules as best as we can. But we see a lot of 48433 area codes. We see a lot of Grand Blanc. We got all the area codes. Everybody just come around, even in Fenton. So.
Okay, so with that being said.
Request for information.
Please pause the time. What is your request?
My request is, did she hear where the pastor stated they have to do as requested by the food bank?
Continue. Councilwoman in the second ward.
Thank you. So the pastor said that they service individuals from Flushing, from Grand Blanc, with these, where?
Sandra, please
Okay,
stop yelling
just
out. That is your
checking.
first warning.
So, this money, and Mr. Jared and Mr. Pfeiffer, if he was here tonight, he's one of the people that stand firmly on, if you're not exclusively using this money for the residents of the city, not for Grand Blanc or Flushing, this is for the residents of the city. That's why the Flint Institute of Music got voted down, because you all were saying that they were serving autistic kids outside of the
Point
city.
of information.
Please pause the time. What is your point?
I want to be perfectly clear, because she's the scenario. That was not my reason for not voting for it. I feel that should come out of a different pot of money.
Please,
with the
please,
opera
no,
fund
that
for
is an
Esther.
improper point. You have a second round in which you can state that. Please continue.
Thank you. And so that was the reason why a lot of our colleagues decided not to support the autistic kids residing in the city of Flint. But what we just heard, we heard the pastor of St. Mark's saying that they have a long line. They have a long line of people from Flushing. I'm not a liar, it's fine.
Excuse me, no, focus on your comments.
I'm here. So it's all about, he said that he serviced Flushing and Grand Blanc and other areas. That's not what this money is for. You can't be a person of a double mind. Either we're going to serve everybody or we're not. What are we doing here? And according to him, he's serving out-county people. So as far as these dollars, they don't qualify. Moreover, St. Mark, they still have community block grant dollars that they have not spent. So we're giving this church extra money that they have not spent.
Point of order.
Please pause the time. What is your point?
Her decorum, can she stop yelling, please?
Councilwoman Burns, please continue.
So we're giving them money that they have not spent, and now we want to turn around and give them some more money set aside from the federal government exclusively for the city of Flint. Now, Grand Blanc received ARPA dollars, Flushing received ARPA dollars, Genesee County received ARPA dollars. These ARPA dollars right here are exclusively for the residents of the city of Flint. And so if we're serving anybody outside of those parameters, and this is the precedent that this body has set, thank you, Mr. Jarrett, thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer. I'm not supporting anything that's not exclusively serving our residents. And based off what my colleagues have said in the past, they shouldn't either. So that's why I'm not gonna support that resolution. However, I would like to amend the resolution and remove St. Mark, because they have money from the city they haven't spent, and they're not serving the Flint residents. So, thank you.
So there is another amended motion on the floor to remove St. Mark and only do the 3 other organizations. Is there support? Is there support?
I supported
Oh,
that.
I didn't hear you. It's been moved and properly supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Discussion in the first round.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
The reason why I support removing St. Mark's is because all the other organizations have come before us and stood in front of us and answered questions. St. Mark's never has.
Request for information.
Please pause the time.
Request for information.
What is your request?
So through you to the speaker, did St. Mark apply for food access dollars?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Please continue.
So that is
I'm
why-
sorry, pause the time. I didn't hear you, Councilwoman Burns. What was that? Okay, go ahead.
So that is why I will not support St. Mark's. Let St. Mark's come before us and address our concerns. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward, you have the floor.
so I think the favor saying is provide clarity to whatever. So first of all, in the video or whatever she played, you have a contract with the food bank. The food bank, as he stated, because you didn't play it all, I don't know what your hatred is for, but it's deep-seated. It's in
Request
your
for
ward.
point of
It's in
order.
your ward.
Point of order.
Please, pause the time. What is your point of order?
So this is really what it looks like when someone's speaking to someone's motives. So she's speaking to my motives, and that's
All
not
right,
true.
thank you. Councilwoman Burns, that actually is speaking to motives. Please refrain from stating that she hates him. Please continue your
So
time.
here it is, we have a person, she's been in the line and been in St. Mark's line, getting food, but not willing to support it. He stated in the recording that as directed by the food bank, he has to follow the food bank. That's why he continues to get the funding. Simple as that. People are hungry, you feed them. Simple as that. I have worked the food banks. Pack the food up, put in their cars, put the water in. I've worked the food banks, the help centers. And it's not easy. So they said he got 1.5 million. That was a lie. That 1.5 million went to St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Grand Rapids. It went to Grand Rapids. So they will tell a false narrative. It's not true. The money he hasn't used, he doesn't have money for food. They shut down last week. They sent a flyer out. They don't have money to feed people in the 2nd Ward. They don't. I want to feed everybody. We have more than enough money, and we should do it. Him not coming here, he came here in November. He's come twice, and he spoke. It's on video. He's been at the podium, lectern, whatever you want to call it. He has spoke before this council. So whatever this deep-seated, feed everybody. We have enough money. We now have that. Thank you, Seamus, for providing us with that. He does not have money he hasn't used for food. That is a blatant lie. It is a lie, lie, lie. They shut it down to where they could not feed them. They shut it down. They don't have the money. He didn't get the 1.5 million. Didn't get it. St. Mark Episcopal and Grand Rapids and Kent County, which is one of the wealthiest counties in Michigan, did receive it. So now we have an opportunity to feed all 4, to feed the Franklin Center, to take care of you, Pastor Stokes, Hicks, to feed the Franklin Mission, the Compassionate. We can take care of 4 and we now know how much money. So it should be the will of all the council, because you're feeding it, and especially when the council member in the second ward has been in that line. I cannot imagine not supporting something that she has needed or a friend has needed, and the convenience of it. But now it's a problem because he said, hey, according to the direction of the food bank, and maybe people don't know, they give you those trucks, and it's not just their center, it's in the contract. It's in the contract that every person or association or organization have, that they have to follow the guidelines of the food bank. That is a fact. So we have an opportunity to do something great here tonight. Feed every side of town, every side of town. That'll be the north side, the northwest side, and 2 on the east side, where we have food deserts. Simple as that. Pastor Thompson has been to this podium. He has been here numerous times. He has been here. So I'm not going to let you or lie or whatever. Now is the time. Let's come together, feed the community. This is what this category of ARPA funds is for. Have the will to do it, and then we can move on. I don't want to be here all night long. We done went over all this other stuff. Now you wanted to be, say, Mark, you ate there. You got food for yourself or somebody else. You should really be supporting it. So I am not supporting no amendment to remove St. Mark. I'm not doing it. He didn't get the 1.5 million. He does not have food access money for food. And when you get these grants, you have to use them in the categories that is specified. You cannot commingle the funds. You cannot do that. So that needs to stop. Feed all 4, and we need to support it. She's over here. That needs to stop. I'm not supporting an amendment to remove St. Mark. All 4, or I'm a no on it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like the floor in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
I think I saw Ms. Winfrey Carter. I'm not sure. Did I see you or no?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Thank you. I said this before. I'm not going to support any of this tonight. First of all, it's not on the agenda. We do not have a resolution for any of it tonight. I don't even know why we going on and on about this. Bring me a resolution, then I'll support it all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
It's a woman in the 5th Ward. We're still in the first round of discussion. Councilman in the 9th Ward, you have time. No. I definitely said, man, please don't yell out. That's your first warning. Moving on, we are in the second round of discussion.
Madam Chair, I asked for the floor.
You had already spoken during the first round. You did.
For the amended?
Yes. This is our 3rd amendment. You already spoke in the first round.
Okay.
We're on the second round now. Anybody in the second round of discussion?
Thank you. Madam Chair.
Wait. I'm not going to take time on this because it's going to fail. Go ahead.
Thank you. So just wanted to highlight a few things. So we had, as we started, we were talking about Pastor Hicks and his unique approach to food access in our community. His unique approach because individuals have specific diets. You know, he doesn't have a contract with the food bank. What they do, they go and they get food specific to the person's diet. Because when you have high blood pressure, because a lot of people on the north side have that, certain things that they can and cannot eat. So why give them things high in sodium when that's not conducive to being healthy? And this is what Pastor Hicks is doing. He's specifically making sure that a certain amount of residents have the food that they need to be healthy and to thrive. That's what we initially put on the floor. Then our council person who said on the mic, I don't even like you. That's not what we're here for. We're here because we have been elected by you to work with everyone up here. So hate and love to the side. Right now, we're supposed to be allocating dollars, and doing things in the best interest of this city. So my point was very clear. It can't get any clearer. The president of this body said, if you are not exclusively serving, they did this with Faith Foundation Resources. They did this with Flint Institute of Music. They done this with quite a few organizations. They said, if you are not serving City and Flint residents exclusively, you do not have their support. With that alone is why, and with the admission of the pastor, request for information through you, Madam Chair, to the councilwoman in the 6th Ward. So I heard that St. Mark was talking about the food bank. Do they currently have a contract with the food bank?
He's in your ward. Reach out and speak to him.
All right. Well, I definitely would love to reach out and speak to him, but I don't know if someone's going to try to record my conversation. So with that being said, we're trying to do things above board. Hearing fault coming this way is not what we're here for. We're here to give you $25,000. If St. Mark wanted, he would apply for it. And so what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to serve an institution through the precedent set by this body that brags about serving the suburbs. We support you, and we're going to support you tonight. So hopefully you can get your money tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the second round of discussion on the third amendment?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
none of this was on the agenda tonight. None of it. Not any of it was, we don't even have a resolution. And so I don't know what recording conversations is, but you called to cuss them out. You did that. And she's unsure. And she proud of it. She cussed out an ordained pastor.
Request for information. Where did you hear that from? Where did you get that from?
So that's an improper request.
Hold up. I didn't even recognize anybody else, so Ms. Burns still has the floor until it's recognized. Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward.
Okay, so my question is, because she keeps saying it, can you please tell us where you heard this from?
I'm not doing this with you. You know what? You've cussed him out twice. Even security was called on you at the library.
Point of order.
Listen,
Please pause the time. Please pause the time. What is your point of order?
She's not only speaking to ill motive, she's saying something that's not true.
There's none about ill motives.
Please continue, Ms. Burns.
Thank you. So listen, tonight we have on here 4. None of this was on the agenda, but we have the opportunity to make sure we're feeding a vast part of the community. Not with what they asked for, actually, because I believe Pastor Timothy asked for $75,000. That was reduced from the original, I think, $150,000. Then it was dropped down to the other ones were $50,000. So I'm not past them all 4. They're all worthy organizations. They all serve the community. And she wants to talk about, take the emotions out of it. She worried about some recording or whatever. I guess it's a reason for, I don't know. Recording she mentioned. Feed all of them. Let the people be fed. That's what we should be doing. I'm voting to support all 4. None of this was on the agenda, but if we're here to do the business, we can get a resolution later. Let's do the business, feed all 4. I'm fine, and none of this is the amount that any of them wanted. All of them wanted considerably more. I believe Pastor Hicks needed $75,000. Pastor Thompson was $50,000. East Side Compassion was $50,000, and Franklin was $50,000. And we're only giving each one $25,000 for a total sum of $100,000 if we can get this passed. And then I guess figure out the rest when we got 4 votes who have the will, or 5 votes who have the will to finish it. But tonight, we're here. Let's take care of all of them. And that's the only way I am supporting this, is to support all 4 this evening. I'm done, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else in the second round of discussion on the third amendment? Got caught chewing. TikTok.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the fourth ward.
Again, I want to reiterate that St. Mark's received a block grant, CBDG funds, and has not spent them.
Request for information.
Please pause the time. What is your request, Councilwoman?
My request is that does she know that that money was not for food? It was for capital improvements.
Are you done? All righty. Anybody else? Councilman in the ninth ward, you have time. You're not going to take it? All right. So this is the second round of the third amendment, which is giving 3 initiatives money and removing St. Mark. So here is the thing. I'm going to take a little time. You going to start my time? I'll just talk, and then I guess I'll have extra. There we go. So the original intent, because we've gotten so far away from it, we tend to steer off into chaos. The original thing was there was a statement made that Faith Love Christian Center was not bought before council, and that anybody had the means to do so, or only the chairs, or whatever the confusion was. So Councilwoman in the second ward made a motion, therefore, to clear up the confusion. It was our understanding that it's supported. So if it's supported, it's supported. She stated that it was supported, and the resolution to come later. The clerk said, we talked to the clerk about it, we talked to the attorney about it, and either way, this could be done. And so we now have Pastor Hicks, who is sitting in front of us, who sits here every week, whether he has something in front of us or not, who is active in the community every week, whether he has something or not. I think the fact that he, as well as others, are getting caught up in something that has nothing to do with them becomes a very dangerous game for us to play with residents or play with people who are offering services. The person that we have in front of us tonight, we have Christian Faith Love, but if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but Pastor Hicks is before us tonight asking for the money. He stated what he does. He stated that he helps Flint residents. He has stated why they need the money, how long they've been in service, everything that they're going to do with it, everything that we need to go into a resolution, which the whole part of the original motion, now that we're on number 3, is already ready to go and stated in a resolution. And so what I don't want us to do is look Pastor Hicks in the face, because we've already wasted plenty of their time in a conversation that has nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with why he's here, nothing to do with what he's asking for. He would like to continue his mission and serving the community. And so to hold him and his church responsible for votes or responsible for feelings about people not getting their way about other votes is absolutely ludicrous and absolutely ridiculous. He is the one standing before us now. That original motion was about him. Everybody claimed up here that they support him. The only person who has actually given a valid reason for why they will not be voting is actually our colleague in the 5th ward. And when I say valid, I just mean she's the only one to actually explain something, and she stuck to it because she said she's not voting for any of them tonight because there are no resolutions in front of her tonight. So everybody else, if we're saying we're supporting it and we're believing it, then that's just what it is, because this is the reality. I know that the rest of us are in agreement with it because we've had several people make motions and other people support the motion, which I'm not sure. Ms. Winfrey Carter, did you support that motion to add all of them to this? No, you didn't? Okay, my bad. Bottom line, Pastor Hicks is right there. Roll call vote for, and Madam Clerk, this is the third amendment and amended motion, and this is to vote for the other 3 entities. So that is Christian Faith Love Center. Hopefully I said that right. Okay. That is the East Side Mission, right? Councilwoman in the 4th ward. And then what was the third one? And then the Franklin Avenue Mission. This is the vote to give all 3 of them $25,000. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett is not in. The vote is 3 yes, 2 no.
The vote is 3 yes, 2 no. So the third amended motion, which was to only give to the 3, that failed. We're going to go back to the second amended motion, which is to give all 4 organizations $25,000. We are still in the first round of discussion. Both the 6th Ward and the 2nd Ward have spoken in the first round of discussion. That leaves the 5th Ward, the 4th Ward, the 7th Ward, and the 9th Ward with opportunities to speak in the first round of discussion. Would the 5th, 4th, or 9th Ward like the opportunity to speak in the first round of discussion? Councilwoman in the 4th or 9th Ward, we are, and just to catch you up, that third amended motion failed. We're now on the second amended motion, which is to give 4 entities $25,000. We are in the first round. Both Councilwoman Burns and Councilwoman Lewis have taken their time. Councilwoman Winfrey Carter has declined, so Councilman in the 9th Ward, would you like some time? Okay, Councilwoman in the 4th Ward, would you like some time?
I've said everything I had to say.
Okay, Councilwoman in the 4th Ward has declined. I guess I will take time. I got 5 minutes, first round of discussion. Just gonna reiterate what I already said. And that is the original motion that was on the floor is to give Pastor Hicks and his organization, his church, money so that they can continue the work they're doing. Pastor Hicks, would you please join me at the lectern? Because I think what has happened in all of this discussion is we have gotten lost on what we're supposed to be doing and the whole reason that this was even put on the floor. Would you please, Pastor Hicks, so that we can all be reminded of the real reason that we're having this discussion, explain to us what your organization does, what your church does, who you serve, and why you're asking for food access money.
Yes. We serve the residents of the city of Flint, and we do this on a daily basis and even on an as-needed basis because we have people who come at certain times, but then we also have like emergency situations where families fall upon hard times or they get burned out or they have other things that happen to them, and we use those things to serve them, to get them funds, to get them food, get them diapers, because we don't supply diapers, we supplement diapers. So therefore, we're not just a place where you just come and get all your diapers you need, but we help supplement to defray the family's cost so that they can stretch their monies a lot further. So we do those types of things, as well as our clothing, as well as we have for newborns. We partner with and we work with the pregnancy clinic for you have first-time moms that struggle and don't have the necessary things from car seats all the way to clothing for their newborns. We supply them with those things brand new. They're not used because we don't do anything used because you have all types of sanitary reasons why you try to keep everything new, especially for newborns when they are so exposed and so vulnerable for different diseases.
And so, Pastor Hicks, I do want to thank you for taking the time to come up and explain once again about these food access dollars. I want you to know, though, right? My focus is squarely on your organization.
Yes.
Because that's what the original motion was about.
Correct.
You are standing in front of us now.
Yes.
There are no questions about your organization, nothing up in the air about dollars, about you and the food bank or anything else.
Right.
And what I don't want us to lose sight of is the fact that you are doing good work. You are feeding the community. That there are families who are blessed and benefit through the work that you are doing. You are the one who is before us now. And that it is not fair for you or anyone else to be held up for other reasons.
Yes.
I can see if the reason being was that you yourself were not offering actual help to the community, that you yourself were not actually serving the community, that you were not feeding the community, that you were not clothing the community, that you were not taking care of the community. I can see if the question was that you were serving people outside of Flint. Yeah. I can see if the question was that you possibly, and I'm not saying anybody misappropriated funds, but I'm just saying for you, because you're standing in front of me, that's not on the table for you.
Right.
You don't owe anybody money. There's nothing. You're not beholden to anything. No. And so what I don't want us to do is to lose focus.
Yes.
Of what is in front of us, who is in front of us, and what you're asking for. I don't think you need to be caught up in any theater that is happening or any politics that is happening. Plain and simple.
Yes.
You are here asking for help because you have been serving the community. You are here to speak on your behalf. You are standing before us. You've been able to answer questions that they've had for you. You've been told by several council people that you are supported. I don't want us to get caught up in all this other stuff, personalities, I'll never work with, I never like, that has nothing to do with you.
Right.
The focus is on you. The resolution that will come later is about you and your service to this community. I yield. Thank you. So we are now in the second round of discussion for the Second Amendment on providing money for all 4 initiatives. Is there anyone who would like the floor in the second round of discussion? Anybody else who would like the floor in the second round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else who would like the floor in the second round of discussion, this is the roll call vote, Madam Clerk, for the Second Amendment, which was to give all 4 initiatives $25,000. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis.
No.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Vote is 1 yes, 5 no.
The vote is 1 yes, 5 no. So that Second Amendment fails. We are now back on our original motion. And we are in the second round of our original motion because everybody else spoke in the first round. So we're back on the second round of our original motion, which is to give Faith Love Christian Center, I'm gonna get it eventually. Christian Love Faith Center, there we go. Christian Love Faith Center, $25,000 in food access money. Is there anyone who would like to speak in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
I have made it very clear that we support all 4. They're not all in my ward. We feed the community. A call or something is so trivial. We have the money, but we don't have the will. Feed all 4, I've been consistent with that. To say because he fed people, they all do. They all do. I have worked those, and it's with their agreement that they have with the Eastern Food Bank, as he stated, as directed. It needs to get outside of this. In the meanwhile, all 4 people could be using this food. Families are not meeting their nutritional value. Families may be going hungry or skipping a meal because we don't have the will with this council. Feed all 4. We have the money. And those trucks come with protein. You have protein, and some of them, I think you get 5 meats. So when we look at that, it's helping this helping people with this economy and the unsure things that are happening. I had a family, both of them lost their jobs because of DEI, the husband and the wife, and they had to sell their house. They luckily sold it when it was put up, but they had to sell their home. And so when we look at these things, we have got over $400,000. We're only spending 1/4 of that, 25%, to feed and give them till something can be figured out. But this will help them. One truck, a half a truck is $600, a full truck is $1,000. The truck with the $1,000, which you're feeding, I know that I know what Bethel does too, and then also Pastor Thompson, and I think Mother Jones feeds much more. She doesn't need funding because we gave her opera funds already. We gave her, so she is well funded at Holy Temple Church, Greater Holy Temple. And so we have these other 4, which there's nothing in between. And so feeding them, we're only using 25% of that $400,000 to feed. One truck will feed, they come through that line, I think it's about a month, between 800 and 1,200 people per month come through those centers to be fed for those very active. That's a lot. That's a lot of people who are in line, and I don't think you wait in line because you don't need food. Who wants to be there? And they do it for seniors. Seniors can't meet their bill, so a lot of it is seniors that they do DoorDash seniors. And so I'm only supporting all four and feeding the community, and I'm not changing that.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the second ward.
So thank you. So through you to the councilman in the 6th ward, does St. Mark have a contract with the food bank? Okay, thank you.
No, I'm gonna answer the question with your rude self. You need to, I'm not his secretary or administrative assistant. But
Got it.
I'm
Thank
quite
you.
sure he does,
So,
yes.
all right.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so
I'm
what
quite
we're
sure he
doing,
does.
we're
I'm not
holding
his
up.
secretary.
She said she's quite sure he does.
I'm not his secretary, though. So I would
Okay,
not
great.
know.
All right. So, well, you're something because you keep advocating for
Oh, my
this.
God, I'm getting ready to
So,
go. We gon-
here we go.
I'm gonna leave you. I'm not gonna do no crazy.
We need to look at a few things. The first thing is our colleague is holding up good work for people that don't have a contract with the food bank.
He does have a
What it is?
contract.
Oh, okay, he does. Oh, well, guess what? Have him come and present it so we can have him come through you, Madam Chair, to the
Yes.
colleague in the 6th ward. Let's have Pastor Thompson come to the lectern. And let's have him answer all of these questions that we have. We have a question about his contract with the food bank. We have a question about who he's serving, because he admitted on your show that he's feeding Grand Blanc. We walk out when we're wrong. Pastor Hicks, we can do this today. We can do this today. But you see who holding you up. Say, it's not about St. Mark right now. It's about Christian Faith Love Center tonight. That's what it's about. And we have individuals that's playing in your face. So this is why your resolution never made it to council, because clearly it looked like it wasn't a priority. Tonight, we're putting it on the floor. You see right here, you have 3 votes that's highly in favor of what you're doing. 6th ward councilwoman, she left again. We're here to handle the business, and that's what we will do. And it's unfortunate when we have
Please
people.
pause the time. Taylor Sampson, I can hear you up here. Absolutely, there's your first warning. You're more than welcome. You're welcome. So, continue.
Thank you. And so I just
Request
wanted
for
to
information.
put it on the record. I just,
Please pause the time. Councilwoman Burns, what's your request for information?
Well, through you to, does she know that for years, I just received confirmation, he has had a contract and in good standing, and he's also been here.
okay. So.
Wait.
So we're
Who
not
she
talking
received
about
con-
for
who she
years, we're
received
talking about
confirmation
currently.
from?
Thank you.
Pastor
We're
Thompson.
talking about currently.
She said Pastor Thompson just confirmed that he's in good standing with his contract.
Currently right now?
That's what she said.
All righty then. So we'll make sure that we can, let's have him come up next meeting and we can discuss this. I would love to. And because with the amount that he received for his pastoral appreciation check with just a few members, clearly he can fund his own food drive with that. Seeing that you are a humble servant who's not getting $20,000 checks for pastoral appreciation, seeing that you did apply for the funds, seeing that you are feeding the people in the city of Flint, that's why we support you. Anything else is just noise in the air. Either we gonna do it or we're not. Let's see who do it for you.
Are you yielding your time? Okay, is there anyone else in the second round of discussion? Okay, seeing as how there's no one else in the second round of discussion, I will take my time. I have a request for information. Who received $20,000 for pastor appreciation?
Kevin Thompson at St. Mark Church.
Oh, okay.
Request for information.
Please pause the time.
Yeah.
What's your request?
I mean, we don't know that that's factual. Her pastor got the Tower of Power. He had $5,000 a month for a cell tower.
So, I'm going to continue with my time because that had nothing to do with what I was talking about. I have the floor. She does not. I posed the question, so you brought up her pastor when it was something I asked. Long story short, I think I've already said this multiple times. The only thing we need to be focused on is the fact that Christian Love Faith Center is before us tonight. Christian Love Faith Center has been told by several people that they support their mission, they support their work. I didn't hear a but now I'm hearing a but all of a sudden. And so when we vote, we'll hear, we support your mission, but you're not important enough for us to not make it political about you. We support your mission, but you're not important enough. And this is to the residents that you serve, but you're not important enough for us to get over personalities. We support your mission, but unless we get our way, you get nothing from us. We support your mission.
Madam
but
Chair.
Please pause the time. Yes.
Thank you. Oh, yes, she definitely needs a warning. She's yelling out during your time. The lady in the outsider in the black shirt.
Let me, Sandra,
her
that
second
is
warning.
actually your second warning. You are removed from this meeting. That is your second warning. You are removed from this meeting. That is your second warning. You are removed from this meeting. Excuse me, Chief. I believe the doorway is being blocked and that is a fire hazard. Thank you. So, as I was saying, with this vote, we will hear, we support your mission, but we have to make it about everything but you. We support your mission, but when it was time for us to actually support your mission. We support your mission, but not really. Roll call, Madam Clerk. Just so we're clear, we are back at the original motion, which was to give Christian Love Faith Center $25,000 to continue the work that they're doing in the community and food access. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
I abstain because it's a conflict of interest, because we should be supporting all four.
Excuse me. Attorney.
She can do it if she wants to.
I believe that the only reason we can abstain is if it is actual personal conflict. That is not a personal conflict.
Under your council rules, you can only abstain if there is a conflict.
Correct, and that is not a conflict.
It does not state personal conflict. I said a conflict. It doesn't say personal conflict. So read
That
the
is
council
not a
rules.
conflict.
No, you don't get to define that, okay?
No.
You said conflict.
I mean, it's
And I said
fine.
it's a conflict.
It's fine. You can.
I know it's fine, 'cause the rules state it's
they
fine.
see what you're doing, so it's fine.
No,
Let's go.
no, see
Roll
what you're
call,
doing.
Madam Clerk.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
The vote is 3 yes, 2 no, 1 abstention.
The vote is 3 yes, 2 no, 1 illegal extension. That motion fails. Moving on to, I guess our actual consent agenda at this point.
I make a motion to, I think we already did.
We did.
Did we make a motion for the consent agenda? I don't think we did.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
There's been a motion made to approve the consent agenda by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 2nd Ward. It's the pleasure of the body. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay, and I just want to state for the record, it's to move it to council.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. That item moves to council. It is now 6:27 PM. What is the pleasure of the body?
Motion
6:28.
to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn by the councilwoman in the fourth ward.
Support.
Supported by the councilwoman in the second ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. The time is 6:28 PM on Monday, May 12th. This Special Affairs Committee meeting is now adjourned.
As always, to the public, if you wish to speak at this next meeting, you need to fill out a speaker slip. If you have already filled out a slip, you do not need to fill out another one.
You guys are being bad.
All right, we are waiting on the attorney to come. See here.
Hey, girl, you supposed to make noise when you walk. You supposed to, oh, you walk on the carpet.
Okay, it is 6:45 PM, and I am calling this council meeting to order per Section 3-201 of the Flint City Charter regarding the organization of the council. And we will start with the roll call. Mr. Earl Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Priestley? Present. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Sorry, just one moment. I'm, just want y'all to know I'm turning down the volume on the microphones. We have a lot of reverb or background noise or whatever, so please, I'm asking you to please speak into your microphones clearly. Thank you. Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat? Present. Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 6 members present.
Madam Clerk,
Ms. Priestley?
I can make a motion to move the reorganization of the council to the end of the agenda.
Is there support for Ms. Priestley's motion? Support. I believe that was Ms. Mashat. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the roll call on that motion. Mr. Alamin is not in. Ms. Lewis, I'm sorry, Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Is that my mic?
Carter, that's your microphone.
What's wrong with it?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There it is. Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. And so that will take us to the regular opening ceremonies.
Did our pastor leave? Did Pastor? Okay.
All right, so now it is time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilperson Jared, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah.
No, Jared, but, yeah, what, well, here, go ahead, Ms. Winfrey Carter, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So now it's time for the prayer of blessing. Do we have anyone that would like to honor someone before we move on with the prayer of the blessing?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Mashat.
The Hudson family in the passing of their grandmother, so Hudson and Peters, I believe is the original last name. And then also to the family of Ms. Birdie Smith. And that, I think that's all. Thank you.
All right. Do we have anyone else that would like to honor anyone else?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Winfrey Carter.
I would like for a moment of silent prayer for the family of Miss Sherry Bell, and the passing of Miss Sherry Bell.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? All right. So seeing that there's no one else, I will take my time. I would like to have a moment of silence for the family of Miss Nicole D. Lee. The family of Miss Nicole D. Lee. All right.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead,
I
Ms.
have
Winfrey Carter.
one more. A moment of silent prayer for the family of Mrs. Fanny Barfield. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you. So seeing that there is no one else, we will pause for a moment of silence to honor those mentioned. All right, thank you. So now it is time for the prayer of the blessing. So Mr. Jarrett, could you please lead us in the prayer of the blessing, please?
After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. So now it's time for the reading of the disorderly person city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Now it's time for requests for agenda changes or additions. Do we have any agenda changes? All right, so seeing none, we will move forward with the public comment. So the first speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
Okay. Hello, Council. I'm R.L. Mitchell. For the record, to Ms. Mashak. When she was talking to the Reverend about St. Matthews, he wanted 50,000, no, 75,000. And then, but the 6th Ward woman wanted to split it up to every ward. But I want you to know for the record, I was invited to a quartet singer group Saturday, this coming Saturday, and the girl she's my significant other, just like Miss Byrne is. She always look out for a man. She says, I'm gonna take you. Forget the girl, I got a free ticket. I'm gonna use her ticket to give to you. But she didn't know where the place was. She used her smartphone and it took us way out in Mount Moore somewhere. Then she told me to shut up because the phone was taking my voice. And the voice led us all the way in the middle of Flint, all not far from the man with 25 members in this church. I think it was Blackwell Church. But I didn't see the church, but I seen the cars before I was surprised there wasn't no parking place. And I want Madam Burns to include the Blackwell on that $25,000 things. If anybody know about the Blackwell Church, anybody, you know about that? Knock your head. Yeah, I didn't know that place exists. That church looks small, but when I got in it, they treat me like I'm the one that's going to preach the sermon, because the man kept coming back while I was in the back. And then I got a crook in my leg, and I just said, I didn't want the girl I stood up, and the girl, she said, what's the matter with you? I said, she said, go to the bathroom. When I went to the bathroom, I had to go there by 5 o'clock. I didn't know. Anyway, we had a raffle ticket, and I missed the numbers by 2. I would have got all the money in the church. I feel like I was like my friend Derek Hudson. I was supposed to be with him when he preached this last sermon over Holy Temple, Church of God in Christ. I remember when the boy was called to be a minister. But I'd always be, anyway, he gone. But I won't say that to say this. And the other people's talking about them the magic peoples. That's the closest thing to putting prayer back in school. They ain't here today talking about tricks for the little kids, special kids, because they got minds too. I wish they was here today. They were sitting right there the other day, right behind me, a group of them. But they let them talk for themselves, because this is a generation gonna rule all. Get them people's name, like Madam Burns, include Blackwell. If they don't have 25,000, give it to like Holy Temple, because they made me feel like I was the guest of honor. And as I said.
All right. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Jesse, I forget his last name, I'm sorry. Can't read the last name. I think he's in. Jesse.
So I don't think Jesse's here, so next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Pastor Timothy Hicks.
Yep, so he's no longer here.
Next speaker is Audrey Young Muhammad.
Good evening. Audrey Young Muhammad, resident of the 2nd Ward. As to the point of St. Mark's, it's sad that Pastor Hicks was fed misinformation about it being his church that received millions of dollars. And I know that he was fed that. I know that he did hear that because he said that to me before the first meeting started. And I corrected him and said that wasn't this church. And then I proceeded to pull up the article from the church in Grand Rapids and give it to him. But it's sad to say that we still heard that come from in front of us from council people that's in front of us. We got to stop doing that and trying to keep continuing to build a thread or a divide in the community, because St. Mark's and Flint did not receive that money. And it's sad that people go along with that. To the point of Ms. Lewis cursing out Pastor Thompson at the library. As a board member of the library, that did come to me from security. It was stated, it was said not only by security, but it was said by several other people, and then it was also reported to by one of the medias, that they heard it, and they were there and present. So just know that it was, and you do know I am on the library. Remember, you reported me and tried to get me removed from the library board, but that didn't happen either. So they told you that wasn't gonna happen because they know I'm a voice for the people. They know I speak up for the people and I defend the people at the library and here. And I'll continue to do that, especially with you. So, yep, I did, and they heard you. They heard you there. Not only was you heard on the hot mic the first time, but you was also heard, and it was reported by the security and the people that was at the library. You scared patrons away. Patrons said that they don't want to bring their children down there because they didn't feel they were safe because of what you did. So just know that. That was also reported to the board and to us right down there, to the director. I've told the director several times, I don't have a problem with publicly stating that I told it to both directors, the old one and the new director, of what the behavior was, and they didn't feel that it was a safe place for their children. So let's not continue to do that. Let's not buy into that. I believe wholeheartedly that the whole council up here would, at some point in time or another, would be game to vote for money for Christian. See, I was a member there, so it was Christian Love Church, Missionary Baptist Church when I was there, so the name has changed, but to Pastor Hicks and the Christian family over there. So I do believe that that's the case, but let them go ahead and bring that resolution here. Let us sit down and feed the city, and I believe that all the churches give food and stuff to the people outside of the city limits. It's not just limited to St. Mark's, but there's people who come through that line, and they don't want to turn people away hungry.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Doug Matthews.
Good evening. I'm Doug Matthews, a veteran and a public advocate for good government. When Jedediah Brown disrupted the mayor's home, the Flint police became a shield for a powerful politician. They arrested Brown. They jailed him. They condemned his actions. They protected the mayor. But when this same Brown and his mob chased me around these very chambers, threatening, slandering.
Excuse me. Please hold. Audrey Young, Muhammad, that is your warning. No yelling out. Proceed, Mr. Ma'am, that's your second warning. Please remove yourself.
This is an outrage.
All right. Sorry about that, Mr. Matthews. So proceed. And hold on, please. Pause this time again. Give him 5 seconds. Police, she cannot obstruct the door. When you are removed from the meeting, you are removed from the meeting. So unless she's going to another department, she's removed from this council meeting. She should not be in the building. So please remove Ms. Muhammad from the door. Let's remove her from the door and consult with the public safety plan. Thank you.
Point of order. Point of order.
What is your point?
You are not the fire marshal, number one. Number
Okay.
two,
That's an invalid point
There's
of
no
order.
rule that states you
That's an
cannot be in
invalid
the
point of order.
building.
Ms.
There's
Byrne, that's
no rule.
invalid, so I'm bringing you to order. Proceed, Mr. Matthews.
Okay, they protected the mayor, but Sergeant Vincent Villarreal became a sword for the mob, forcing me out while my harasser stayed and celebrated. This is not equal protection. It's special rules. For politicians like Mr. Potter, the mayor, and Snakebite and her gang. Snakebite spews racist venom, and it perpetuates and echoes through the days. Big Sleazy thrives on filth and fraud, and AC Dumbass lies without shame.
Point of order. I'm
There
bringing
are-
Doug Matthews to
there are
order
chaos
for
merchants.
vulgarity.
Please
Pushing
hold.
Flint-
Please pause this time. Go ahead.
Point of order. I'm bringing Doug Matthews to order for vulgarity. Give him a warning.
Okay. All right, so please proceed, Mr. Matthews. So just to note that I guess as we hear tonight, we hear that no form of swearing is accepted. So going forward, when you hear individuals swearing, using F-bombs and stuff, make sure you bring them to order. So Mr. Matthews, you can refrain from calling Mr. Dumas Mr. Dumbass, please. Thank you.
You politicians are chaos merchants, pushing Flint towards Potterville. You aren't alone. Mr. Potter, Dennis Pfeiffer, leads this march. He promised a bonfire in this chamber, a fiery purge of rules, a seizure of control through chaos. Who makes these special rules possible? The city attorney, who watches in silence while residents are smeared. The Flint police, who shield the powerful but wield the sword against residents. The mayor, who demands protection for his home while the council runs wild. This isn't just about me. It's about any citizen who dares to speak up and then gets crushed. It's about a city where the law has two faces, one for the powerful and one for the people. Pottersville takes over because good people stay silent, including some on this council, like Miss Priestley. The city attorney looks away while lies become laws. The Flint police shield the powerful, but strike at those who speak the truth. Because the citizens of Flint are waking up, this council needs to wake up too. You have 8 weeks to decide whether you want Bedford Falls or Pottersville. We will remember who stood for truth and who stood for tyranny. And so will the courts. Because when the law is twisted to shield the powerful, and when politicians crush the civil rights of ordinary people, it becomes a federal case, as the law department is now learning. Will Flint be Bedford Falls, or will it surrender to the chaos?
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. All right, next speaker.
Next.
So, excuse me, let's not yell out.
Next speaker is Sandra Jobin.
Okay, so first of all, as I'm standing back there in the doorway, which I wasn't in the doorway, the chief of police was, but beside the point. Marcia, you want to make this personal? You want to call me Burton, you want to call me everything but my name. My name is Sandy. And if I wanted to make a name for myself, Judy Priestley, you know that my last name is as Odell. So if I wanted to use my name that I run for any kind of position, would be Odell. And if you don't know me, I started out at Davison Community Schools speaking at the council meeting there. Then I went to the Burton council meetings. I've been there. Went to Grand Blanc schools, came to city council, went to commissioners meetings. I went to Lansing, and I don't go out of state because I have a son that I take care of 24/7. So let's clarify that one. All I'm doing is trying to help people to do a little bit of research in the corruption that's happening, not just not just Flint City. This is happening all over the place. And I've said for the last 3 years, when we the people stand together, all of us, Democrat, Republican, Independents, then come against the corrupt system, is when things will change. And it's about to change. And people are getting nervous, and that's why they want to make personal slaps, against people and calling them outsiders, Burton, whatever else you want to call it, because I'm not even from Burton originally, so there you go. Got it wrong again. But Judy, you can tell your colleague, how many times do I speak out? You going to sit there silently? Because this isn't the first time you heard me speak. The only place I get kicked out of is here, because they're disrespectful and they don't believe in the freedom of speech until it's their people. Now you have a guy up here that's, I don't know, older aged, whatever, and he wants to come up here and say that he's a veteran, which me personally, my dad was a veteran, and I think he's a personal disgrace. But besides that, he can come up here and swear and everything else, and you guys don't say a word. But the lady that got upset because of her son's situation used the F-bomb, and you immediately escorted her out the door. So it's rules for thee, but not for me. Read your charter, roll the tape back, have a good night.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Beverly Biggs Levy.
All right, next speaker.
The next speaker is Peggy Bruchane Noblet.
Good evening. I live at 320 West 2nd Avenue, and I have an issue at 315 West 2nd Avenue. They have already moved in as and I'm going to indicate that it is an MR1 for the residents in my neighborhood, because it is residential zoned. It's Great Lakes Recovery Mission. It is a rehab center. It's not supposed to be there. It's basically zoning for Flint, like many Michigan cities, divides its lands into various zoning districts, which I have already talked to Dalton and been expressed to by assessment that it is zoned MR1, not 2. It is illegal. It is totally unethical. I've talked to Dalton. They are supposed to be, I've been calling for months through Building and Safety, for months. James Patterson and Mike were supposed to be at that house on May 1st, stopping the work. I've been calling since last year during the entire winter. Jerry and I have had 4 conversations. She has helped me immensely, but we are getting nothing done. They are actually moving in. It's ridiculous. There's no parking there, period. It's a 2-car residential home. It's actually in Carriagetown. It's one of the historic mansions. It's the Dalton House. I'm freaking. I've lived there 27 years. These people also are less than 500 feet from a church, which that's also illegal and unethical for them to do that. What else? Like I said, there's no parking for that place. Our neighbors are all freaking out. We don't know what more to do. They were supposed to be there, James Patterson and Mike, on May 1st. I was there the entire day watching and waiting. Nobody ever showed up to stop the work. The work has been finished, unfortunately. My neighbor Monica, she lived there for over 20 years, and everybody probably knows that Monica was the lady in Carriagetown that threw all the parties for everybody in the city if they wanted to show up into her home. She's gone. We miss her terribly. And I'm telling you, she's probably rolling over in her urn or her grave. This is pathetic. I need somebody to stop that work, or, because I've been told by Mike that once he places a stop work order on this facility, that then they can take them to zoning, which then they have to also go to the neighbors in order, in order for us to give permission.
Ma'am, so, yeah, so what we will do, your council person, she's here.
Yes.
And so we allow you to finish this conversation with her because you're at your 3-minute mark.
Correct.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Taylor Sampson.
Taylor Sampson, 8th Ward resident. First of all, Liddell and Candace, as a queer, disabled individual in this community, I'm asking you to please stop using us as your scapegoats for every single thing you claim is now something you can't vote on, or is a problem, or is a conflict. You tried to claim you can't vote for people in 3rd Ward seats because they're, queer and homophobic. You literally go to the church of the most homophobic pastor in town. So everything you say in that seat, Liddell, is a lie about that. And Candace, your whole entire allyship is also false. I'm sick of it. And now you're going to use autistic people like me as a way to claim that my council people on this side of the room aren't voting on? No, that whole entire FIM thing was all a mess, and you know it. That was never even mentioned, and now you're going to try and tell that you care about autistic people. You don't. You've never cared about disabled people once in these chambers. You literally kick us out all the time. You don't care if people are up here saying these things, asking for help because they're disabled. You literally do not care. And I know neither of you are going to look at me because you're cowards. You will not make eye contact with anyone. And there are resolutions up there tonight for the police in the city of Flint to get more money. I am asking council to stop voting yes on these police officers getting any more funding until we get a whole restructure. Terrence Green needs to go. The things that we witness in these chambers with them taking us out of this room, it is our right to be here. You cannot keep weaponizing the police on us and claim that it's legal. It is not. And what you did to Jedediah last week, I can't believe you're even still trying to pull anything. Neely, I'm talking to you on the camera again. Knock it off. The game has been lost, and anything you do from here on out will be another lawsuit on the taxpayers' dime. And I keep telling everyone we need to go after the bonds of you on council, and it's starting to happen. And guess what? If we get your bonds, you will never hold another office again, because you will not be bonded again. So Liddell, Leon, who is conveniently not here again, Judy, and Candace, I'd start acting a little bit better, because we're coming. We're sick of it, and now we have people backing us up that are actually doing the right thing, and they're going to federal. Skip Genesee County. There is no one here helping us, and we're so sick of it. We're fed up, and there's a change coming. This summer is a summer of change, and I'm speaking on it. I am manifesting that. We are done. We are sick of you. You will be out of those chairs, and we will never have to see your faces and hear your voices on that dais ever again.
All right. So next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Kawana Mack.
Hello. Man, I didn't even want to go after that. You know what? Thank y'all for that little Saturday Night Live skit you and Candace trying to pull. These people came before y'all before. You ain't give them no money. Give them that $300,000 like you give the Greater Holy Temple and your friends. Give them that $50,000 for your Bear Service Park over there, and $300,000 for your water lab over there. You see what I'm saying? Big mouths. You see what I'm saying? Can't wait till y'all get out of here. Everybody know the real you, and you too, Judy. Just want y'all to get out of here. It's a brand new day. And you know what? Page 11. Y'all got on here the candidates. I think y'all need to take off 2 names, Richard Jones and Carrie Nelson. Davina, get on that paperwork. But, what is it, Miss, I always like to, tape stuff. I got something for you. Don't mess with my phone, Paul. Hold on a minute. Put it on speaker. Darn it. I gotta get it on speaker. Oh, did you turn my mic down, Davina? Turn it on 10 like Candace and Mushat. But I can say what she said to Pfeiffer in the garage. It's a Traverse, not a Cadillac, you bitch. You hear me? No, look up here. You be bumping and elbowing people coming down the road. Miss Liddell, Miss Tough Cookie, that ain't nothing. And you too, Candace, trying to play, what they call it, backfield. Or is it front field when y'all went to Du Bois, Iowa? Talk about this poison water, but these people up here, Liddell, Judy, Mushat, and Elamine, who ain't here, stealing all the money. People, y'all at home, get your tails out here and fight before it's too late. See you next meeting.
All right, so hopefully next meeting she have a recording together. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next meeting, I'm sorry, the next speaker is Betty, let's say Hazard, Betty Hazard? Bethany, okay.
Bethany Hazard, West Flint. I've lived here a little over 30 years now, and I had a few good years in my neighborhood. But through the decisions of politicians who make and break who lives or dies, what neighborhoods survive and which ones don't, is a tragedy for me. So, okay. I was really appalled when somebody here, when the mayor's wife got upset because there was a casket in front of her house. I'd rather have a casket in front of my house than put up with what I put up in my neighborhood. Caskets have been used at high schools to teach people about drinking and driving. Caskets have been used in protests before. It's not a new thing. What they did to that young man, I found appalling. How would you like, what's worse? Being broken into, having to live around drug dealers that harass me all the time, people coming at my house at 1:30 in the morning, waking me up, and she's bitching about a damn casket. It pisses me off.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is David Peachy.
Not here.
Next speaker is Mary Wright.
Mary Wright, 5th Ward. Just got one question, and any of you guys up there can answer it. I want to know why St. Mark is held to a certain zip code. Have you guys checked all the other churches that y'all gave funding to? Because don't nobody ask for ID. So if y'all gonna be fair all across the board. That's all I got to say.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Jasmine McKinney.
Oh, where do I start? Shame on you. The last time I was at this lectern, I said, shame on you then. Shame on you again. Taylor Sampson said, it's going to be, I don't remember exactly what she said. She was so powerful. She talked about the summer. And so I encourage all of you that aren't familiar to familiarize yourself with Red Summer, because we're going to have a red summer here in Flint, Michigan. I want to make sure I get everything I want to say, because I don't intend to be before you again, but shame on you because, again, my friend, was it Mary? She's correct. You are totally out of order with the way you have been treating St. Mark Baptist Church in your ward, a ward I grew up in, a ward my father represented, much better than you. Shame on you for claiming that you're a Flint Northern Viking when you act like nothing. You act like you ain't got no home training, no high school diploma, no college degree, and definitely not a PhD. I know you didn't get it from Howard. They gave it to you at Western, where my sister went and currently works. But shame on you. She's ashamed of you. Many Vikings are ashamed of you. Many of your friends talk to me and tell me they are ashamed of the way that you behave and represent our school and our community. You don't put anybody out the people's house. You can throw her out this meeting all you want to, but you cannot throw her out the people's house. This is the people's house. We are the people. She said, my other friend Bethany, she said she'd rather have a casket outside her house than other things. I'd rather have a casket with nobody than a casket filled with bodies. So shame on you, Chief Green. Because you can fill many bodies up, and we have. Lawrence Moon works tirelessly. That's one of your mentors, right? I want to remind you that you are here to protect the Constitution. You are here, you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States. You do not. And I want to remind you one last thing about an outside agitator. A wise man once said, whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Never again can we afford to live with the narrow provincial outside agitator idea. Anyone who lives in the United States can never be considered an outsider.
Ma'am, that's your
anywhere
warning.
in
Thank
this
you.
country. I am done, and
Thank
so
you.
I will
Ma'am,
sit down
that's
now.
your warning.
No, I ain't got no warning.
Thank you. Next speaker is that, let's stop yelling out. Ma'am, that's your second warning. Please be removed from the meeting.
I will leave, because I didn't even plan on coming. But I sat there and listened to you.
Ma'am,
Shame on the way you have treated
ma'am,
St. Mark Baptist.
you are asked to be removed from this meeting. Officers, please remove her from this meeting. You cannot make a loud exit. This goes against council rules according to the city code subsection. It says if they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed. Unless you want to be arrested, she needs to dip. Thank you. All right, so if she proceeds to, she's proceeding according to our subsection, she's putting herself in the category to be arrested. Let's not do this. according to our Flint City Code subsection 3110. Thank you. So since that's the last public speaker, do we have anyone that would like to have council response?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
Yes, I want to address Ms. Jobin and her comments about going to other municipalities and other meetings. You know, I have been in meetings where she's at, and she's able to conduct herself in a peaceful and quiet manner. Unfortunately, the chaos that is allowed in here of all the clapping and everything actually encourages the behavior that she exhibits here. But I know that she can do better because I've seen it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Priestley. Anyone else would like to respond to council response?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Woodrow Green, welcome back. You abuse your position and your power, and then you get angry when the residents respond. And it is unfair that our police department is weaponized against the residents. It's a true fact. You allow no space for people. It's your way or the doorway. You're disrespectful, you're condescending. And you lie a lot. And just for the record, so that you know, Pastor Thompson has been here. You heard Sister Audrey Muhammad state what you did at the library. I don't know what it is that this deep-seated anger you have with him, but you need to let it go. And he did not get $20,000 for his pastoral anniversary. He did not. Would have been nice probably, but he did not. He did not. And so when you say those things, he's in your ward. I cannot imagine that church, which sits on the corner of McClellan and DuPont, that you adamantly and vehemently, continuously go against. I don't understand it. You see the work that they do. You continuously try to tear him down, tear down what that church does. You don't support it. And then you have the audacity to be in the line to get food. I don't understand that. You drag this man in this church, but then you use it to get what this church has reaped, its harvest. And it doesn't bother you. That's diabolical. It is diabolical. Next week I did send, so the people out there, to have all four. I'm all for or I'm nothing with that. I'm all for, feed them, or we not feeding anybody.
All right, anyone else for council comments? Go ahead, Councilman Mashat.
Yeah, I want to thank those who came up here with some community concerns. I know that there was a lady, and I believe Jerry is speaking with her now, who had some concerns about zoning and people purchasing larger homes to essentially conduct businesses out of them, businesses that tend to disrupt and destabilize neighborhoods. I understand completely what she's saying, but because that is currently something that's happening in my ward. And I'm with her on the fact that we've got to get something together around here about what we allow as far as businesses moving into residential neighborhoods and just disrupting everything about that neighborhood. And then also when she was talking about how they just ignore our codes and just go ahead and build and remodel and do things that they're not supposed to do. Again, something else that I've had to deal with in my ward of someone just up and remodeling something that they didn't even get a permit to do. And when the time comes for the city to enact, I think we have some of the lowest fees around. You can literally break a law, remodel something, change a whole structure of a neighborhood and only have to pay $25. That's absolutely ridiculous. She is not wrong in the fact that we as a council really need to look at that. That needs to be something that we address and correct as a body. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak? All right, so seeing if there's no one, I'll go ahead and take my time. So hearing that I do not give others room, just want to make sure that I will continue to emphasize that I support the rules, something that a lot of council members don't care about. And when we have a councilman stating that they're going to throw the rules in a bonfire, Just like Mr. Doug Matthews said, they're gonna have a bonfire of the rules. That's lawlessness. And so if you don't want lawlessness here or outside, why would we have it here? According to these rules, we have the city code subsection that says that you will receive a warning for yelling out, just like Ms. Jasmine McKinney just did. Yes, her father was the former second ward person, and he did a great job. But guess what? As we walk in his legacy, we want to make sure that we adhere to the rules that are in place. I know that he will be for law and order and the rules followed by everyone, including his daughter. Next, we want to make sure that the people that had issues, such as the lady in the corner, that she speak with her respective council person. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Mashat, for looking into that issue for her, as you are in the 7th Ward, and that's the issue of the 5th Ward. In terms of St. Mark, I vote against them, not so. Last year, before Councilman Murphy died, we allocated $75,000 from the CDBG funds for them, and I proudly voted yes. But what I won't do, I'm not going to bend the rules for my friends, just like we've seen it happen here. Whether it's pastor, whether it's friend, whether you're in my ward, if you're not following the rules, I don't have anything for you. And so hopefully, we all will have that same regard for the rules. But if we don't, that's something between you and your residents. So let's stop trying to gaslight the people, make it look like I'm not for the people, as I work tirelessly out here for the people. So, as we move on, we are on the consent agenda. Yes, Ms. Priestley?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, a motion has been made by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. Any separations?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
I would like to separate 250127 opioid settlement fund. Also, the 250141 grant acceptance for the Saki Sapphires Conference. And 250146, that is the amendment resolution for the Flint Police Department.
All right, so 1 second. 146, and then I heard Saki.
That's 250141. Page 8, page 8.
Thank you. All righty. And then what was the first one? What was the first one?
Opioid settlement 250127, page 6 of 11.
All right, got it. Thank you. All right, any more separations?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Jarrett.
I'd like to separate 250154, the setting of public hearing, drinking water system improvements, 2026 drinking water state revolving fund project plan.
Okay, so you said 154.
154, 250154.
Okay, got it. All right. So, any more? All right, so seeing there's no more, the consent agenda will consist of resolution the presentation of minutes with any corrections, as well as appointments, 250061, 250096, resolutions 250087, 250120, 250121, 250123, 250124, 250125, as well as 250126, 250128, 250129, 250130, 250142, 250143, 250144, 250145, and 250147. All right. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yep.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
All right, the vote is 5 yes. You said 5 yes and 0 no? Okay. So the consent agenda passes. So now we're on to our first item of separation, and that is Resolution 250127. What's the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
make a motion to approve 250127.
All right, motion to approve. Any support? Supported by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Through you to Fire Chief Wiggins, or whoever can speak to it, someone from the fire department, they could come forward. So in this, it states the opioid settlement fund, and so I've got a couple of questions with what type of equipment that you're going to get, because there is a part of this, and this, it states, et cetera. So what is et cetera? And good evening.
I'm sorry, did you ask a question while we were coming up?
I did to kind of, if you didn't hear me, I can start it over.
Yes, ma'am.
In this, it states that it's for opioid, and it states the equipment, but in it, it states for such equipment as in rescue, medical and life safety supplies, decaling equipment, and et cetera. What is et cetera?
Most of it's going to be supporting for the ambulance. Equipment such as we stock the ambulance with a lot of equipment, supplies, bandages. I want Chief Kwame Hogan, he is the administrator of the ambulance program, and he can speak to that point.
Okay, very well.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. We can't really draw an amount. Once we get the ambulance, we have to fully stock it. Then there's going to be costs to get it licensed. So we can't put a dollar amount to that, so that's kind of what the et cetera means. We are buying an ambulance with these funds. We're going to expand the program, but we just can't put a definite dollar amount on how much supplies that we're going to buy.
So in accounting, you have to do like a line, not like a line item. And so it would be what type of your supplies. I know we have an opioid problem and then for ambulance, but you cannot put et cetera. That leaves too much, that's anything. Et cetera could be anything. And so I would have liked to have seen in here for it to state if you are getting, I don't know what you use for what you're really saying. What are the things that you said you cannot get what is that you cannot do a inventory list of? What are the things that you're saying you can't get that?
Band-Aids, triangle bandages, the supplies for some of the equipment that we're going to buy. We don't know exactly what it's going to be. The fire department itself has went above and beyond the money that council has graciously given us to support the ambulance. So we don't actually know what the end amount is going to be to supply.
Okay, but what about the name of the supplies? Instead of, I won't vote on it with et cetera. You need to have it state what it is. So if you're saying you need bandages, whatever, gauze, or whatever it is, I mean, you have et cetera, which leaves it very broad. That et cetera could be, and I'm not saying that you would, but I'm just saying we have to be, when we're doing a resolution, it has to be, you fix that, I'll vote on it. I don't think we have one. we only have 5 people. So,
And that's perfectly understanding. When we get into the ambulance, there's so many charges that can come with
Yeah.
the licensing of it, and the licensing agents will change directions in midstream. So when we say et cetera, as you can see, we're buying equipment now that we don't have. We're buying what we call thumpers. Instead of us doing chest compressions all day long, we'll hook up a machine to you and it does it itself. Well, that has,
Chief Wiggins, do you have an opioid plan? Because this should be listed in your opioid plan. Do you have one?
we have an opioid plan.
I
that-
haven't
that
seen it.
insists, well, nobody has asked for it.
Oh, could you get us a copy, please?
Absolutely.
Yes, because I know we have an opioid, my time is, I have to catch you on the next round, I'm sorry.
But we'll get you,
All
we'll
right.
get you an opioid plan.
So, next speaker in the first round.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
I'm going to kind of pick up from what Ms. Burns said about the et cetera. Did we have a list, and I don't know which resolution we had in purchasing the other ambulances. We had a dollar amount. You said that the amount of money that was spent to stock that ambulance came from your supplies and not out of the ARPA, or the opioid monies, correct? Is that what you're saying?
We get what we can get out of the opioid settlement money, and we also get it out of our normal budget. Because keep in mind, we run medical first responder fire trucks. So we
Right.
indeed use medical supplies in all of our action.
So.
And to Mrs. Councilwoman Burns' point, that et cetera might have been put in there by someone else. We don't do et ceteras. We tell you exactly what we need. And I don't remember us articulating et cetera.
If the wording was to become something like, and any necessary supplies in order to put that ambulance on the road, or words to that effect, that would solve that issue, through you, Madam Chair, to Ms. Burns. If we said any necessary supplies to make this ambulance licensable. Oh, excuse me, I was
don't
looking at.
think that,
Because they don't know exactly what it's going to take. I'm just trying to find a wording that would work, that would
I don't
satisfy
think that
that.
wording would work. Say that again.
And any necessary supplies and items needed to get the ambulance licensed and on the road.
I think we need to probably refer to legal. It's not my term. I would refer to legal.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
just checking
yeah,
to see if that
yeah.
would be acceptable to you.
I would check with legal for the proper.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the city attorney.
And please be advised, if we're operating the ambulance and something new come out that's going to be best for our public, we get it. We get it out of our budget. We find a way to get it, a better way for our people to run the services. Narcan, if they come out with new Narcan, new ways of us giving a person the Narcan, we're going after it. I don't like that word, et cetera, and it
Yeah,
will
I
be
don't
changed. I'm gonna find out who put it in there, because there's no et ceteras.
Okay, so, Attorney Gurley.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you can definitely amend it to add the more qualifying language so that it's related specifically to what the chief is talking about for the equipment.
Chief, if we delay this vote until the next council meeting, are we going to lose an ambulance like we have? Are we that tight on time?
Well, we'll have to rebid. We'll have to go out for rebid again for
So
the ambulance.
that delays it more time? I'm going to. I just was wondering.
And we will lose the Lucas devices.
Okay,
Those
so
things I
I'm going
told you
to,
about thumpers.
okay, I'm going to make a motion to amend the language, and
Mm-hmm.
I've got to go to the resolution. Give me just a second. This is 25127. Oh, I don't, I missed it when I bookmarked it. I'm looking for the wording.
I don't see that.
Oops, there it is, it's sideways, that's why. All right, so,
I don't see it.
all right, so the important part of this is that it is resolved. And so I don't know that it's the whereas has the et cetera. So I'm going to amend the et cetera. Additional supplies are needed to outfit the apparatus as needed to get to be able to use the ambulance and be licensed.
Repeat that. As needed.
As necessary.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's a motion. Go ahead.
Okay, as necessary to prepare the ambulance for licensed use. I like that word being better.
And you know, I just found that word, et cetera, and it should not be there. Thank you, thank you.
I read it, be it resolved, because that's the legal words.
That's it.
So additional supplies as needed to prepare the vehicle for operation as a licensed ambulance.
It works.
Needs support.
Oh, all right, supported by the Councilman in the 7th Ward. All right. 1 second. All right, so the motion on the floor is to make to amend 250127 to 250127.1.
First of all, we have to do the language, yeah.
I didn't hear you.
We have to do the language first, prove it, then we amend it.
Okay. So, it's the motion on the floor to change the language to, as necessary to prepare the ambulance for licensed use. All right? All right, so there's a motion on the floor to adjust the language to that. To amend the language to say, as necessary to prepare the ambulance for licensed use.
Is that what you came up with? Basically, yeah. I don't know, I don't remember the exact word that I used.
I would like to get legal to give us some better language.
Okay, so hold on, wait a minute, because who
That's
has
already
the
been
floor now? We
supported.
have Ms. Priestley, and so, let me go ahead and just double check.
Because I didn't write it down.
Right.
Get that
I mean, I wrote down exactly what you said.
Okay.
All right, so.
I know the first time I said I didn't like it.
Right, so let me check, because on this motion, I thought this was to put it as a .1 to amend the language.
It will,
and
we
that
have
was
to
a
amend the
.1.
language then. Because-
Okay, got you. So, so to the attorney, do you have any language recommendation for this part? Because Ms. Priestley recommended as necessary to prepare the ambulance for licensed use.
Yeah, that's the wording I used.
Yeah, I'm looking for that reso now in the packet.
It's
And-
sideways.
Okay.
It's page 175 in my packet. Excuse me. It was hard to find. Because it was buried. It was after the source well. Here it is.
Oh, thank you.
she found it, okay.
Go ahead.
The clerk may be able to give us the correct language so that our resolution is correct.
That, what she repeated was the last time she did write it, as I said it.
Yeah, okay. That didn't sound right to me.
All right, so. So what we can do, we can take a 5-minute recess so we can get the language. All right, so 5-minute recess order without objection.
Exactly, that's what I was just saying.
Right. I mean, yeah.
That's all we have to do.
That's for purchasing.
Okay, I knew,
So it's whatever equipment needs to be purchased so that it can be ready to
So
go.
we can just strike et cetera.
Yeah.
And this, because that, I'm like, that leaves you guys open to, you don't want them headaches, you know, so.
Yeah, but I don't see that in her.
It's in, I read in the other, it's in one of, I read it when it first came out.
Right, but it's not here.
Traditional supplies are
I used to teach schools, I'm an educator, a formal one, and I'm used to doing contractual, with contracts, so I just picks that up. I mean, I want to make sure you guys
Such as
don't
cabin equipment, rescue equipment, medical, and life safety equipment, and whatever's necessary to prepare it for licensed use.
I'm not, all we have to do is strike et cetera. All that, yeah, that's it.
It's not listed though.
Yeah.
No, it's in the whereas, which is where the legal part is,
Then
it
you
does
just-
not even list it.
Right, so just strike it.
Just
from
strike et
the
cetera, then we're
whereas.
done.
Everything else should be fine.
Okay, so we'll just strike the word et cetera. Is that correct? Oh, you'll never find it in a search, you do not find it.
Oh my God.
Because it's all individuals. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just strike the et cetera, because it's not even in the.
Okay.
That was, I think that was just.
But then we're gonna have Karen to
Okay.
give to everybody.
All right. So,
That's what our, supposed to list the whole.
there's the word et cetera, but it's not in the whereas, it's just in the.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just talked to the strike. They were like, we holding stuff. Okay. That's a modern thing.
Okay, so we'll just.
So did she agree tonight? She agreed to strike.
All right, we'll just strike that. We'll just strike that.
So I guess the
So,
question for the chief is just to making sure that he has everything in this sentence that he needs. Because, I mean.
That's why I changed that sentence.
I think they got a pretty good handle. Yeah, I think they got a pretty good handle on it.
All right, we'll just strike, all right, so if in order to do that, she has to withdraw her second, and I'll withdraw my motion. And then we'll just strike, pardon me, what?
But everything that's listed on here, you guys are good with,
So
other than the et cetera.
how do we do this right, so that we can just change to strike out et cetera?
That's in the.
I did. Okay. Okay. All right, are we on that?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we're
Strike that word up. Move it, okay. That is probably supposed to be something else. She probably is. Good. Voice to chat. Well, they asked me back there, and I said, we don't write these. Lauren writes these. Somebody said, that's what I mean. Was he upset?
Hey, Della, keep it on an eye on. You ain't off the hook yet. Poppycock's still in the building.
Yeah. No, no. His brother used to live with me. Oh, yeah? I told him, I'm calling your brother. Okay, I'll be quiet. Yeah. So the next.
All right, so council's about to re-adjourn. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 6 members present.
All right, so we have 6 members present.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
Yes, with your permission, I would like to change the amendment to just strike out the word "et cetera" in that sentence.
Okay. So we are going to delete the word "et cetera."
Correct.
All right, go ahead and read that into the record, please.
Okay, so the wording would now say additional, this is one of the whereas sections. Additional supplies are needed to outfit the apparatus such as decaling, equipment, rescue equipment, medical and life safety supplies will be procured in accordance with the city's purchasing ordinance and policies for an overall cost not to exceed $480,000.
All right. Got it. So we struck the word "et cetera." All righty. So is that wording appropriate for the body? Okay, so seeing that it is, all right, so now we would like to put a motion on the floor to make it a .1.
We have to approve the language.
Oh, so there's a motion
haven't
for it to
voted on
approve
the
the language?
language.
All right, so you put a motion for it to approve the language? Did we already do it?
You just call for the vote, ma'am.
All righty.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
This is the motion would be to amend it to a .1 with that language. So you're actually voting to amend it to a .1.
Okay.
Oh, so like I said the first time? Yep. All right, so we're looking to make the amendment a .1, 250127 to 150127.1, and we will strike the word "et cetera" from the language. All right, so roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
In other language.
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
All right, the vote is 6 yes, 0 no, so that resolution is now turned into a .1. So what is the pleasure of the body for Resolution 250127.1?
Madam Chair.
All right, well.
Support.
All right, so go ahead, Ms. Mashat, she started it, supported by the Councilman of the 4th Ward. Any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
Thank you. Chief?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that we could amend this and get this done. When I saw et cetera, it made no sense. And understanding that when you take basic accounting, that you understand that, and that was unlimited. I don't know, where did that come from? Was it purchasing?
It would have to be purchasing. They write the resolutions.
Okay. And you said you will get us a copy of the opioid plan. How many opioid overdoses are you seeing, let's say, a month? Approximate? As an increase, decrease?
I'm gonna say about 20 to 25, and all of that information you'll have it in the morning on your email.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank both of you. I
Thank you
appreciate
for your support, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Amen.
Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else in the second round? All right, seeing that there's no one, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And that thumper really can come in handy, because that's someone that worked on the rigs and had to perform CPR on Flint residents. I understand how important it is. So thank you for everything that you do for saving lives. It's important. All right, so we are looking to vote for Resolution 250127.1. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer is absent. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no, so that resolution passes. Now we're on to Resolution 250141. Pleasure of the body.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve. Any support?
Support.
Supported by the councilwoman in the 6th Ward. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms.
is there someone can speak to the Saki program?
All right, can someone with Saki knowledge approach the lectern? Anyone has that Saki knowledge? No? Okay, it looks like no one is here this evening.
So no one is here from the police department?
Well, we do see 2 officers that have been escorting people out, but they don't have the knowledge. Sir, stop yelling out.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else in the second round? Okay. So, so looking at this, I'll take my time to speak in the second round. It looks like we are entering into a grant from the Community Foundation. So the Saki unit can receive $5,000. And so I went to the Saki conference last year. It was myself, I think I remember Councilwoman Mashat being there as well.
I was there.
Yeah, you went.
Off and on.
Yep, so also Councilwoman Priestley, hey, you all be everywhere, thank you. I appreciate that. And so it was great. It was impactful. And they had people from all over coming to participate and to learn. And this is our sexual assault unit. They deal with sexual assault cases. And so this resolution here is just to allow them to receive $5,000 from the Community Foundation. So, and it says here, the conference is a notable event bringing together professional scholars and enthusiasts from law enforcement, forensic science, legal, and intends to foster learning, collaboration, exchange of ideas. So again, this is costing the city nothing. This is a total lift, and it's an addition to the Saki conference, so we can be just as, or probably even more successful than it was last year. So I'm definitely in support of accepting $5,000. I'm surprised that's all they asked for, $5,000, because that was a top-notch conference. Yeah, so yeah, they make this $5,000 go a long way. All right, so cool. So with all that being said, we will go ahead and call for the vote. So we are voting to accept a grant for $5,000 so they can proceed with the August conference. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. So that resolution to receive grant funds passes. So now we're on to Resolution 250146, the amendment resolution for the Flint Police Department. Pleasure of the body.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
make motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve. Who supports this? Councilwoman in the 7th Ward supports it. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
I see Chief Green is here. You to Chief Green.
All right, Chief
Chief
Green, please approach the lectern.
Chief Green, as you're walking, this is for $350,000 for a cold case unit. Can you tell me how many cold cases we do have that are outstanding?
Outstanding,
Or an approximate if you have a cold case?
over 100.
Over 100?
Yep.
I know the last time I had talked to, I think Julie Lopez, it was over 150.
Yep, that could be true.
Okay.
Well, we solved some, so that's why I said over
I
100.
think we had a year after that, it was high.
Yes.
So, can you send to us how many outstanding cold cases that we do have?
Yep.
And are you using, how many are working on the cold cases?
How many are working?
How many are 'cause I think, were you using retired officers?
All
for this?
retired detectives.
How many, I knew of 2, how many? do
Well,
you
we have 2, and then we have some auxiliary, what we refer to auxiliary through Genesee County Prosecutor's Office. Those are part-time Flint City officers also. So I say roughly about 4.
Roughly.
Two assigned to my department.
So 2 that are assigned to your department. You work with the county on this?
Yes, with the prosecutor's office.
And, okay. With the prosecutor's office?
Yes.
So tell me about it. Tell me what the cold case unit is.
The what?
Tell me what this is, the cold case unit, what they're working on. I know, but can you clear, because
Yeah,
other
so
people
what
may
they're
not
doing,
know.
they're investigating homicides that we refer to as cold cases. They had leads initially, but unable to make an arrest. So some of these stem back through technology as far as when it comes to DNA, things of that nature. So,
Would that be like the case, I think it was Lapeer Road?
yes. So what we're doing, we have cold case detectives that are gleaming through those cases that might only need some additional lab work, things of that nature. The majority of the issues are we have to locate witnesses, former witnesses that are might not be in this location any longer. We've had to send detectives as far as California to conduct interviews. So just looking up, tying up some loose ends, some specifically we working in tiers, the cases that might need only some additional lab work, or to convince a unwilling witness to come forward now. So those cases that we're starting with first.
So the 350,000, is that like is that to take care of like your budget if they have to travel?
Yep, that's all itemized in our budget.
How much do you spend a year on cold cases?
I'm not sure.
You're not-
It depends. Depends on what the expense is. I look at probably the largest expense is going to be DNA analysis, because we have to send it to a private lab. And it might be some travel involved.
How much is DNA analysis if you're sending it to, because you don't use the Bridgeport one?
We can, but
Are they backed up?
they're backed up, and we don't get, current cases get preference first,
Okay.
not cold cases. So we prefer to go through a private lab.
So with going to the so this was pre them being able to do DNA. So what is your oldest case?
I think the one that was brought to my attention might be year 1985.
Okay. And so with this, I just think that you need more. You got over 100 and something cases. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because a lot of these criminals, they're on the streets and they they commit other crimes. And this is the problem, and they know how to get away with it. You know, some of them become better criminals. And so I think for this, 350,000 with the caseload of over, I know it was over 150, and so we know we're over 100, we can safely say. I
Yes.
think that you would need more money.
Yeah, let me go through as far as, let me get that list of cases for you, first of all. How many we actually have pending cold cases, and see what we've spent so far out of the 350,000.
So you have money left over from the old one?
Yes.
How you got money left? You need.
I don't know how much though, but
Yeah, but you got some good retired officers who can, what y'all paying them? That's my time. So I'll get you on the second round.
All right.
All right. Anyone else in the first round?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Winfrey Carter.
So, through you, Madam Chair, to Chief Green. Chief, so how many, I'm looking at this resolution, how many police officers will this funding take care of?
Well, we budgeted for 2 part-time homicide detectives.
Okay.
And
so-
excuse me, 2 part-time homicide detectives and a analyst.
And a what?
Analyst. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And this is going to take care of their salaries, plus of equipment, of course, but their salaries and everything else, wages and fringes from.
Well, they don't get fringes. They're
Oh,
retired,
okay.
so we're not responsible.
From April to December of 2026,
Yes.
right? Okay. Will this take care of it?
That part.
It should, hopefully,
Huh.
but we'll reevaluate it once we get closer to December of 2026.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right. Anyone else in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
Okay, and I do think that Ms. Winfrey Carter did allude to this, that this is just extending the date you are having to spend the money.
Yes.
If we're getting to October of 2026 and you need more money, we need that, whatever you can spend by December 31st of 2026, because that's it, done.
Yep.
We have to spend everything, so I want you to be aware of that. So it's necessary to, and I know that Shay has been tracking this and how much money is spent, so he can easily give us that information. But I wish we had spent it all and you were coming back to us for more money.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we're going to be able to extend this. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else in the first round? All right. What about the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Ms. Byrne.
Chief, how much are you paying these retired officers?
I think
Please
it's,
don't say it's
so they
$15
part-time.
an
I think
hour.
it comes out to, they're working part-time, so $27.50 an hour.
So have you thought about hiring some more?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, to get through that, you have a big a large backlog.
Yep.
I think hiring more officers would really help.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
Is HR working with you to hire, or?
Yes.
I mean, actually, if y'all go to, call up your retirees.
Yep.
A lot of them not doing nothing but making their grass green.
Being
Being the envy of the neighborhood.
That's the exact point. You have to want to do this, you know. And we
Have you
want
guys
someone.
went down the list to call to ask?
Yep.
Because you have some great talent
Yep.
that is retired. If they can come back just to do this, I think giving a phone call and say, hey, we really need you.
Yep.
You know, if you could come back, you know, for the X amount of time just to work on these cases, I think you would get some people who would respond, especially at $27.50 an hour, not $15.
No.
I'm glad it's higher.
I've
Because they don't
I've
need
reached
fringe
out
benefits.
to several, and I will continue to do that. You know, we need the help, so.
Yeah, you do. I think there are officers who would, retired, not just officers and prior command staff, which would like to see those cases cleaned up now that you have, science can be a part of it.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of them may be familiar, you know, if they're still local. I would go through everybody with your retirees, you know, to not lose this money so that you can have knocking off numbers off that 100 and something of unsolved cases. I would go through every single body with HR. Can we have these numbers? Let me give, and you should call personally. You know, be charming. They may not turn you down. You need the help. I mean, I'd hate to send this money back, and I think you need more. I mean, that's why I hate to see this, because we have a level of crime, and people will continue to commit other crimes. Some of these people might be in other jails, dead, and who knows once the DNA come back. So I think time is of the essence, especially when we have the money to fund this. So I would hope you would reach out to them. I am supporting it, but I hope that you would reach out, because I know there are retirees who would love to do this.
Yep.
If this is all that they could do, if not, you know, go to the retirees. I'm quite sure they would be like, oh, well, this is a good idea. You got some who are seniors that could use this. They could use it. So
We welcome them, trust me.
okay, all right, I'm done.
All right, anyone else in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Jarrett.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the chief. I think I just have one question. To your knowledge, these retired detectives coming back and assisting with this, do you, bargaining or union, whatever, them coming back working part-time, will it affect their pension payment or anything like that?
No. So, say if they're retiree, they have to be separated from the department at least 60 days. And then they can come and be at a part-time status.
Okay,
But other than that, no.
good. Because I know in some cases with retired persons, it impacts.
Well, yeah, that's a
how
good point, because at one point, I think they changed the rules through MERS. They only can make a certain amount of money a year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So to your knowledge, it does or does not?
It does not. They changed those rules.
Thank you. Thank you. Because like I said, that might, you know, disincentivize someone otherwise from wanting to be of service and taking on their responsibility. Thank you. I yield my time.
All right, anyone else in the second round? All right, so since there's no one else in the second round, I'll go ahead and take my time. Thank you for your time, Chief, and thank you for the hard job that you do. You have a very complex role in the city, and I do hear my colleague in the 6th Ward when she talks about, you know, bringing in more officers, bringing them out of retirement.
Yep.
But it's hard when people interfere, especially council people, in their job. See, people look at social media videos, and people look at what the current officers are going through, and you know what they say? Do I want to be bothered with that? They say, do I want to be
Request for information.
Yes, what's your request?
You sound ridiculous, and I know there are retired officers who want to do this, okay?
All right, thank you. So that's a valid point, and that
so what
is
are
your
shoes
warning.
wearing?
So we got to make sure that we're following the rules and we're not trying to take the floor using privileged motions, which you just done and did all night. But back to you, Chief. The point is, you know, as we make this a place where people want to come back to work, because, you know, when you're retired, you left. And so when we want to give you a reason to come back, we want to make sure that we're giving you something conducive to come back to. We want to try to eliminate all issues that beyond what they have to face, because they have to face murder scenes, pulling up to people and you don't know what they have. They got a lot of things you got to think about in the field. So you got to get back in that mindset. But what you don't want to do, you don't want anyone interfering on your job. You don't want to have to go to a scene and have council people cussing out police officers, because who wants to show up to have a council person cuss them out? Call them F words and et cetera. Nobody wants to do that. And so, okay. So again, keep getting interrupted, Ms. Burns. Let's not get a second warning. And so,
Look, he need my vote, because if I leave, I'm not gonna play with you tonight.
that's fine. You don't need to play. Do what you need. Ms. Burns.
I was asked by
Ms.
the police
Burns.
to pick somebody up.
Ms.
You
Burns, that's
stop.
your second warning.
I'm going home anyway.
Great idea.
Chief, you need to tell them.
And
ugly
so,
shit
Ms.
is on your
Burns,
feet
that is your
and
second
shame
warning.
afterwards.
You are leaving this meeting.
I sure
And please
am.
do it
And
in
you need to
silence.
leave them shoes
Ms.
at home.
Burns. I won't. I won't. And because I'm not getting paid to go back and forth, my job is to uphold the rules as she continues to violate my time. I'm nasty when I'm stating the facts. So, Chief, my point is, I want to make sure, I want to give you everything you need, because as the Chief of Police, you know exactly what you need to make our community safe. So I'm following your lead. But also, I just want to compel my colleagues, as we continue to talk about them coming back, let's give them something to come back to. Let's not interfere when they're doing their job. Let's not curse them out on videotape when they're doing their job. Allegations about me are
When I
pending.
ask for their badge number, they need to give it.
Ma'am, we need for you,
Sir,
ma'am.
I'm leaving.
We need for you.
Sir, I'm leaving.
We need for you to
Sir,
be in
I'm-
order.
Sir, I'm leaving.
No, we're going to get that time back because Ms. Burns want to be disruptive as she is. This is exactly how she is on crime scenes and when police are doing their jobs
I
here.
was asked to come pick some people up who were being left on the bridge on I-75. Get your facts together, okay? How about that?
Right, makes no sense. Let's stop
No, well, it
interfering.
does when they didn't have
So,
control to get
again,
them. How about
officers,
that?
can we
You a
remove
lying,
Ms. Burns
pathological,
for being disorderly? Ms. Burns,
disruptive
Ms.
person.
Burns,
Sir,
according to the
I'm
city code subsection, it says that if you can, and chief, and this is where your police officers come in, when people continue to disrupt the meeting, according to our subsection, you are asked to be removed. Again, you're continuing to speak and don't have the floor. And this is what we have to go through. So could you all please help Ms. Burns out of here? And Ms. Burns, let's stop disrupting the meeting. Ms. Burns, let's stop disrupting the meeting. Ms. Burns, let's stop disrupting the meetings. Thank you, Ms. Burns. Thank you. All righty. So, go ahead and give me 20 more seconds on that clock, please. Yeah, I don't need them all, but my whole point was I support you, and we need to make sure that we have the officers operating in an environment conducive to staying. So when we see interference and stuff, we got to make sure that we stand on business with the criminals outside as well as people breaking the law inside in these chambers and council people. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to call for the vote. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. That resolution passes. So now we are moving on to resolution 250141. Oh, excuse me, we
Chair.
already did that.
250154.
Yep. You got it. Yep, 154 is the last resolution of the evening.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Ms. Priestley.
motion to approve.
Motion to approve, any support? Supported by the councilwoman in Ward number 7. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Jarrett.
through you to Mr. Miller, if we can ask Mr. Miller to come forward.
Yeah, Mr. Miller, could you please approach the lectern?
Good evening, Mr. Miller.
Good evening, sir.
I know this is for the setting of a public hearing. Can Can you, though, share with us a little bit about what the public hearing will be about?
So the public hearing will be for DLZ, the team that did the project plan, to come before the council and give a presentation to show what the drinking water state revolving fund intent to apply will be all about. So it'll be the 24-inch water main that runs through the northwest side of town, as well as the Torrey Road booster station.
So will this public hearing involve or have any impact on any finances?
Good question. So it is a low interest loan, 1%, because we are an overburdened community. And so it will finance the Northwest transmission water main replacement, as well as the Torrey Road booster station. So it will have an impact on our finances, very small, because it's a 1% low interest loan from the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund.
Okay, so at a point in the conversation as well, during this hearing, we'll be talking about having to finance a project or projects.
Yes, and if I may, it is very important that we look upon these two projects as favorable. They are in our administrative ACO.
Okay, consent order.
Consent order, yes.
Okay. Okay. Is that as much as you can think in a moment to share with us about the importance of this hearing?
Well, no. The administrative consent order is actually something that is due, or this particular part of the consent order is due on June 30th, 2025. So it is my recommendation that we accept their help.
Thank you, sir. I yield.
Through the chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to offer Mr. Miller that the date that this application is due is June 1st. So DLZ is trying to get it in by May 30th, just to make sure. And the resolution requiring a public hearing is necessary for the application to be submitted to the state for consideration.
All right, thank you. And
Madam Chair.
and go ahead, Ms. Winfrey Carter.
Yes, Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Smith.
Miller.
I mean, Miller.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Miller.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Miller, how many, I know you've been knocking down the list of everything that was on that ACO, right?
Yes.
So how many more projects do we need to complete?
I'm very happy to announce that this one, the 24-inch water main replacement and the Torrey Road booster station are the last of the quote-unquote big-ticket items that we have to complete per our
Okay.
ACO, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for
right, thank
bringing that
you.
up.
All right, anyone else in the first round? Anyone else in the second round? Seeing there's no one, thank you, Mr. Miller. Welcome back. Next time, don't go on vacation. You did not get anyone's permission. And all right, so roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat? Yes. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. That resolution passes. So now we are, all right, we have a motion for it to adjourn. Any support? Supported by the councilman in the 4th Ward. Roll call. Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Did you say? Oh,
Dr. Lewis?
yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter? Yes. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. It is 8:31, and this city council meeting is officially adjourned. You all have a great night.
Okay, we got budget stuff on Tuesday.
Thank you, sir.
Or Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Oh.
If the show rolls.
It's the Tanya Burn Show. Tune in right now. Like and share our sitting.